Hi, my name is Brian, and this is the most pro-Donald Trump channel on all of YouTube. I broadcast on the radio on 6 radio stations. We take live calls from you watching on YouTube and our radio listeners, and we're about to start in just a few seconds, and man, do we got a lot to talk about today. The left are, they're on the move, people. They're on the move, and they have done something. They made a big move against Donald Trump yesterday, which I'm going to get to when we get on the air. Here we go.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
All righty, welcome everyone. I am Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, broadcasting in the state of Florida since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. And of course, this is where MAGA comes to talk. And we're very lucky to broadcast live from Ron DeSantis' Free Florida, aren't we? And he's in the news. They're going after Ron DeSantis. We're going to get into that. There's a lot to cover on the program today. Got some big updates on the Biden Spygate, DocuGate scandal. And the left, the mainstream, the establishment, and the legacy media have made a major move against President Trump that you're going to hear about first here. And it is so typical of these people. It's really a big move that they've made against President Trump. I'm going to get to that in just a bit, but I want to start with our great governor, Ron DeSantis. You know, Ron DeSantis is the greatest governor ever. Not just the greatest governor of Florida, he's the greatest governor in the history of governors of the United States since we've had governors. Okay, I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, he's just incredibly awesome. And, you know, he's a lot like Trump. He's Trump 2.0. He's going to be our second MAGA president after President Trump's second term, and he's just awesome. And one of the things that makes him so incredible is that he takes on the tough, controversial issues. Most Republicans don't do that. Some do, but not many. And he's one of them. He's like Trump. And he has taken on what they have done to Black history here in the state of Florida. Now, February is Black History Month, right? So we're on the eve of Black History Month. So Black history is, you know, something discussed these days. And, you know, I'm not a big fan of Black History Month and Black education in schools, because I think it is a part of just American history, and all of it should be taught as American history. And I know they'll say, well, the history books exclude Blacks. Well, ask yourself this question. I'm going to ask the question and answer it. You know? But who writes the history books? These racist history books that exclude African Americans and their great contributions to American history. Who writes these history books? You know who writes them? Liberal college professors write the history books. That's right. All the history books, for the most part, are written by liberal college professors, Democrats. And so I will agree that many of the history books do exclude African American history because Democrats are racist. That whole thing I did with Robert Third Reich yesterday, Bob Reich, the former labor secretary for Bill Clinton, is a textbook example of that. But when Black History Month first began, when I was aware of it, I should say. I mean, it might have been around longer than my recollection. But I remember when I was in 8th grade here in Florida, I went to middle school in Fort Lauderdale, New River Middle School. And it was so long ago, they tore the school down and rebuilt it. But we didn't have Black history at all, and it was a new thing, Black History Month, Martin Luther King Day, and all that stuff. And one of my teachers that I had in 8th grade, I cannot remember her name, she's Black, And our Black History Month consisted of her doing a Black history lesson at the end of the morning announcements that was like, I don't know, 1 or 2 minutes, because the books back then were that way. But, back then, that was the 1980s. I'm in Florida. This was in Florida. We're coming out of the Democrat Jim Crow era, and Democrats ruled Florida at that time. Here we are decades later, more decades than I want to admit, almost 40 years later. And there's been an integration, even when it comes to the history books and our textbooks and things, to integrate things that the Democrats excluded. But Ron DeSantis is taking on Black History Month because what has happened is these radical leftists have taken this great thing, Black History Month, and they've gotten all kinds of other things in it that are not Black history, that is involving sex, and also involving very radical BLM ideology. And he's been vocal about this, and he has banned a lot of the Black education in our schools here in Florida because they have injected things that are not Black history. They're using Black history as a cover to get these other things in. So Governor DeSantis, I tell you guys, he has a press conference pretty much every day. And they're pretty good because the press hate him. So you got these liberal jerks in the media that are always going after our great governor, Ron DeSantis, and they move in there to take him on. And listen to this. This is Governor DeSantis yesterday with the liberal media, and he's talking about why he's taking on Black History Month in Florida. And I don't think any reasonable person could disagree with Ron DeSantis.
This course on Black history, what's one of the lessons about? Queer theory. Now, who would say that an important part of Black history is queer theory?
Okay, by the way, I don't even know what that is. Do any of you know what that is? I have no idea what that is. Governor DeSantis seems to know because, he's taken it out of our education system.
This course on Black history, what's one of the lessons about? Queer theory. Now, who would say that an important part of Black history is queer theory? That is somebody pushing an agenda on our kids. And so when you look to see they have stuff about intersectionality, abolishing prisons, that's a political agenda. And so that's the wrong side of the line for Florida standards. We believe in teaching kids facts and how to think, but we don't believe they should have an agenda imposed on them.
Okay, yeah, I'm not even going to say the word because I don't want somebody to get a soundbite out of it. This Q theory thing. I don't know what that is. And then they're talking about abolishing prisons. That's become part of Black History Month. First off, how racist can you get that you think prisons are like part of Black history? Very strange thing.
You try to use Black history to shoehorn in queer theory. You are clearly trying to use that for political purposes. Yes, ma'am.
See, here these reporters, these are like the old press conferences with Trump and Acosta.
And listed as concerning is the topic of movements for Black lives. Can you describe what about that is concerning, or some people are calling it?
Is that what the abolishing prisons? Is that part of the? So if you read actually what's in there, they're advocating things like abolishing prisons. Now that's a radical political position. You're free to take that in your own life. I don't think very many people would think that would actually work. But how is that being taught as fact to be able to do that? And I also think it's not fair to say that somehow abolishing prisons is somehow linked to like Black experience, that's what Black people want. I don't think that's true at all. I think they want law and order, just like anybody else wants law and order.
Yeah, that's pretty racist. They think Black people want to live in crime-infested areas where there's no consequences for doing crime.
So that is more of ideology being used under the guise of history, and we want to do history. That's what our standards for Black history are. It's just cut and dried history. You learn all the basics, you learn about the great figures, and I view it as American history. I don't view it as separate history. We have history, a lot of different shapes and sizes. People that have participated to make the country great, people that have stood up when it wasn't easy, and they all deserve to be taught. But abolishing prisons, being taught to high school kids as if that's somehow a fact, no, that's not appropriate.
Okay. You know, this is one of the great things about Ron DeSantis. He takes on the controversial issues. He talks about them openly in press conferences. And one of the things he shows is how mainstream and common sense the conservative positions are on everything. Right? I mean, they really are. And most people in the country, a lot of people don't view themselves as being conservative, but they agree with conservatives on almost everything. And he's very articulate and is able to make the case in a way that few people cannot. Now, if anyone is in favor of injecting the abolishment of prisons in this Q theory, and if someone could tell me what that is, the theory of Q, I'd like to know what that is. Give me a call. Our number, 888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll take our first break and be right back. Okay, where am I? Yeah, there's a pretty big story here that the establishment and the legacy media have done a big move that they think is a preemptive move to on the air. Okay, so I had my mic on. So there's this big move that the Democrats have done that is a major move against Donald Trump. And they're very well aware of it, and some of you may have heard it but didn't realize what's going on. So I'm going to get into that in just a little bit. But this is, I tell you, they are very worried about Donald Trump. Oh, yeah. Make sure you like the video, guys. Only a handful of you have liked the video. Like the video. That helps me out a lot. It spreads the word about the channel to people who have not yet found the channel. And, of course, we want as many people as possible, don't we? And when I say we, I mean you guys. We want as many people as possible to find this channel. This is definitely where MAGA comes to talk. You'll not find anyone that loves Trump more than me. Oh, yeah, that helps too, Ron. Thank you. Absolutely. Let's see. Okay, I got this story. I'll take a call or two maybe before I get to this next story, but... Yeah, you gotta love. I mean, is there? Give me a yes or no. Do you guys love DeSantis? How could you not? Who does not love DeSantis? He's amazing. That's why I wore one of my DeSantis hats today, because of this story. Steve Kane Show. Hold on. Steve Kane Show. Hold on. I'm sitting down today, which I don't normally do. I usually stand, but I'm just tired today because I was sick all last week. It's like caught up to me. I need this vacation next week on the cruise.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show.
Ah, yes. Welcome back. It's Tuesday morning, and Ron DeSantis is free Florida, and I guess it's, Tuesday throughout the whole country. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Our number toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. This is Rick from Fort Pierce.
Hey, Rick. What's up?
You know, I was just scrolling through the stations, heard your show, and I had to tune in. And I was thinking to myself, man, this is the only state where I could see raising a child in the next 10, 20 years.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Saying is this Trojan horse Q theory. Let's shove that into Black History Month. Unacceptable.
Do you know what that might be? It's queer theory. What is queer theory?
As far as I'm concerned, it's pure evil.
Yeah, that's for sure.
People are evil, but this whole theory of it's an agenda. It's an absolute agenda, and it's disguised as racial equality, or excuse me, no longer equality, equity.
Well, you know,
the definition is not equality.
well, you know, a lot of black people don't like this. Being gay and being black is not the same thing.
Correct. And actually, the overwhelming majority of black people I've met in South Florida are actually somewhat conservative Christian.
Yeah, that's right. They're more evangelical than the white community. The black church is very influential.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. Listen, I'm going to be a long-time listener now. You guys have yourself a great day.
All right, lock us in on your radio preset. Number 1 on your radio preset, whichever station you're listening to us on. I know, you know, this program is the longest running radio show in the state of Florida, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, when Star Wars was in theaters for its original theatrical run. That's right, 46 years on the radio. And, you know, when you first tune on this show, it's like, whoa, wow, if you're not used to those kind of shows. And some of you know this, but a lot of you probably don't. I started listening to Steve, the Steve Kane Show, when I was in high school. And my first car that I had only had an AM radio on it. I didn't have an FM radio, just an AM radio. And I really didn't know what AM radio was all about. And when I was in high school, we got out of school at 2:35 in Fort Lauderdale, Stranahan High School, which was a crack high school. And I don't mean crack because everybody was good. I mean, it's like, you know, I was going to school. It was the height of the crack epidemic, and, you know, and a lot of crack dealers were in my classroom. And we had one of the highest testing success rates in mathematics because we had so many drug dealers in the school, except they really only knew the metric system, but they did very well. But Steve was on in the afternoons on WIOD then, and he was on like 2 to 6, if I remember correctly. And I used to listen to Steve in my car when I got out of school. And here I am. That's right. It's kind of a crazy, weird thing, isn't it? I know. And when I got that car with the AM radio, I'm like, oh man, what am I going to do with this? I don't think I'd ever listened to AM radio before then. But now we're on AM and FM, baby. But yeah, so welcome to the new listener, and anyone else who's new, welcome to the program. Yeah, so Donald Trump, of course, our great president. The only real question about Donald Trump is he going to be the 45th and 47th president, or the 45th and the 48th president? Because, as I believe, Joe Biden is going to be forced to resign, and Kamala becomes president. That makes her the 47th president. So that means Donald Trump will be the 48th president as well as the 45th, which I kind of like that idea because that's very, very historic. Not only 2 non-consecutive terms, but a couple terms apart, you know, a couple presidents apart. That would lock him in. That's never been done before, right? President, come back 2 presidents later and president again. That's not happened before. There's been a president who was president, skipped a term, and then came back, but not 2 presidents later. So that you know, get firm his place up in history. Although, like, he needs it, right? Greatest president we've ever had. The only president, and I'm going back to Washington, and I'm including Lincoln in this, the only president that was not controlled by the donors and the special interest and the big money of the day. And that's one of the main reasons they hate the guy. But he's running for president, and there's been some big developments with President Trump, and the establishment legacy media have taken a big move to try to stop Trump and having a successful run in 2024. Okay, now, yesterday, a story came out which was absolutely amazing. I talked about this on my podcast in great detail last night. And by the way, the Brian Craig Show podcast is on all podcast platforms, okay? So if there's a podcast platform, you can find the Brian Craig Show podcast on it, including Audible. I'm on Audible too, can you believe? Sounds kind of stuffy like NPR, but I'm on Audible, as well as Spotify and everything else. But anyway, it came out yesterday that Trump is returning to Twitter, that he has an exclusivity contract with Truth Social that expires in June, and he is not renewing it. It does exist. We also have a lot more information that it expires in June, and those in the Trump orbit have said that he is going to return to Twitter and allow this exclusivity contract that he has with Truth Social to expire, which is huge because he has over 87 million followers on Twitter right now, even though he hasn't tweeted in over 2 years. He'll hit 100 million overnight once he starts tweeting there again, and he'll be able to carry his rallies on whatever platform is airing or streaming them to his 100 million followers on Twitter. And that is a reach and an audience that is bigger than all the mainstream legacy media in primetime combined. But they made a big move, and after the bottom of the hour break, we'll come back and I'll get into the details of this big move that the establishment and the legacy media have made to try to stop Trump's 2024 campaign from being a success. We'll be back after this.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with
Oh, this is a big sleaze move. I'll be right back, guys. Be right back.
Shops North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Palm Beach is the major express reserve crash free moving at the speed between Boca Raton and Jupiter. 741 eastbound on Congress Avenue, 2 in the lanes above Bible and construction, and so far there is no movement approach. Lakeview Avenue westbound is still shut down by construction between the 5 and Drive and Chase Street. Your best alternative here is going to be Quadro Boulevard. As for Broward County Federal Highway, is going to be closed from 7th Street to Broward Boulevard by construction. Take 3rd Avenue Bridge instead. Also along 95 northbound, just beyond Davie Boulevard, 4 left lanes are blocked by overnight construction. This report is sponsored by Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You cannot change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org. Let's travel with Chris Barr.
Traffic and service at Palm Beach Kennel Club. This week it's ponies and poker at PBKC. Friday night, come out for the $10 poker party, perfect for new players to experience tournament play. And it's free for new signups. Saturday, watch Wager and Win on Gulfstream Park's Pegasus World Cup in the Paddock Restaurant with over 130 new HD TVs.
All right, I'm back, guys. I'll stand now. Oh, what a great sleaze move these people are making. I mean, they're doing such a sleaze, disgusting move, which I'm going to get into when we get back. Let me adjust the camera there. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, guys, and everyone like the video. Only a handful of you have liked the video. Liking the video helps me out a lot. There we go. Right there. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I love to hear new listeners' reactions. You know, new listeners, when they find this show, like that guy I was just talking to, it's like, wow, I didn't know that there was like people talk this way.
Your team comes with a lot of questions. And Bye Bye Baby, we're here to help you prep for everything you expected and everything you didn't. Pop by your local store for brands you trust and expert advice.
Yes, this is the YouTube mic. Yes, guys, thank you.
We're giving you extra savings. Text baby.
I told you, I'm tired. I was so sick last week. I just am, it's kind of caught up with me. I'm all better. But
229 for $20 off. Bye Bye Baby.
I'm just a little tired. But I did get well much faster than I thought I would when I first got sick last week. Well, yeah, a vacation after the vacation. Yeah, well, my vacation starts Saturday. So, and I'm looking forward to it. I hope some of you are going on the cruise. We got a great group of people. Oh, I will. But I'll still be here on YouTube. You guys, I'll stream in the mornings, and I'll also do some vlogging, you know, and upload those. So make sure you click on the notification bells. I probably won't be up at 6 a.m. to live stream, but I'm up in my cabin pretty early. No, sadly, my wife cannot travel outside the country. Wow, since 2009. In Chicago, James. Wow. All right, let me get this story up that I wanted to talk about. This is an unbelievable sleaze thing, I tell you. They just, you know, the establishment just can't stop. They just can't handle losing any bit of their power. And this one here I'm really upset about. I'm really upset about this. I'm going to get into it right after them. After the break, we're coming back now.
Kane Show, celebrating 45 years on the...
Yes, we are back. It is the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Okay, so I was talking right before the break. The establishment media have made a big move to try to stop Trump. They're real lowlives, okay? You know, the Democrats, the left, they cannot handle losing one little shred of power and control over our lives. They love power. They love control. So, and of course, to keep control, they got to try to stop Trump. You know, we have term limits in America. He's only got one more term as president. Just ride it out, liberals, okay? Then you'll have a chance again. But here's the thing. So I was talking about President Trump will be returning to Twitter over the summer, which is right in time for the rally season. He has over 87 million followers right now on Twitter. His exclusivity contract with Truth Social expires in June. He's not going to renew it. And that's a great thing because he can stream his rallies to what I believe will be 100 million plus followers on Twitter. And it's just a great way for him. It's too many people for him to ignore. And that's an amazing thing. But the Trump rallies, now this is the thing. There has been a media blackout in the mainstream media on the Trump rallies since the first campaign. And since January 6th, they used January 6th as an excuse not to carry the rallies. That goes for Fox News Channel as well. And during the first campaign is when I really discovered OAN, One American News. I was familiar with it, but didn't watch it too much. But One American News in Trump's first campaign carried every single rally. Every single rally. No matter what. And I watched them all. And I watched them on One American News. That was the first campaign. So then what did they do? One American News was not on all the cable systems. But what did they do? The legacy media and the establishment panicked, got OAN thrown off of cables platforms all over the country, and then finally got them taken off of DirecTV, and 80% of the viewers to One American News, 80%, were watching on DirecTV. So Chris Ruddy at Newsmax is an amazing, amazing man. A lot of you don't remember or know about Chris Ruddy so much. He still runs Newsmax. We used to have him on the show back during the early Clinton years quite often, before there was an internet. And Chris Ruddy, and this was before the internet, so they didn't have Newsmax.com yet, so I don't remember how he published his stories. It's been so long. If anyone remembers, there was no Newsmax magazine and there was no Newsmax.com yet. But Chris Ruddy was out there, and I don't remember how he got his reporting out. If anyone remembers those early days of Chris Ruddy, let me know. But Chris Ruddy with Newsmax was the first guy out there reporting on the Arkansas State Troopers with Bill Clinton. And there was a lot. You know, those state troopers were running him around to not just women, but there was a black prostitute in Little Rock that he fathered a child with, Danny Williams. You know, and all these stories came out through Chris Ruddy and Newsmax. There was one I remember in the first campaign of Bill Clinton, when he was still the Arkansas governor, but he was running against George Bush and Ross Perot. He was always jogging, always jogging. He had like a gray sweatsuit. He was always jogging, but he was eating at McDonald's all the time. When he got elected, they talked about, oh, are they going to install a track at the White House because he runs so much? They're going to need a running track at the White House. When he's president, he won't be able to run on the streets like he does now. Well, he wasn't jogging anywhere, okay? And Chris Ruddy was going around with the Arkansas State Troopers, and I remember we had them on the show talking about this way back in these days. They would drive Bill Clinton to the prostitute's house in Little Rock, the black prostitute that he fathered Danny Williams with, or whatever, or other lady. Then they would drive him to, you know, a block or two away from where the press was, and then they would take cups of water, because bottled water wasn't a big thing yet then. You know, bottled water was called mineral water back then. It was fancy pants for super rich people. They would take cups of water and pour it on his clothes to make it look like he was sweating from running. If there was any real sweat, it was from the sex. And Chris Ruddy got all that out. And then the Vince Foster suicide was amazing. Chris Ruddy, the founder of Newsmax, led the reporting on Vince Foster. And the story with Vince Foster, he worked in the White House, and he was with the Rose Law Firm with Hillary back in Little Rock, and there were all kinds of scandals with that. You get sidetracked in. And it wasn't so much a question of whether he committed suicide at the White House. It's that Hillary Clinton led a cleanup team. They moved the body to the park was the controversy. Do you guys remember all this? And those are just two of the stories that Chris Ruddy, the founder of Newsmax, got out there. He's amazing. And what he did with Newsmax television was really amazing, okay? So when Newsmax television started years ago, it was not worth watching. I mean, they had no talented people like Todd Schnitt and live stream their radio shows. Now, this radio show is more interesting. If they were live streaming this program on Newsmax, well, they'd still be streaming it on Newsmax. They wouldn't have dropped it like the others. But they put on this very boring programming on Newsmax TV that was not watchable. And at the time, I thought, what is Chris Ruddy doing? And then on that election night, when we all flipped off of Fox and discovered Newsmax, I had not seen Newsmax in I don't know how long, a couple years maybe, and I didn't realize that they had upgraded into their current form. And Chris Ruddy had this boring, unwatchable programming on Newsmax so that it was not threatening to the legacy media or anyone else. And he could get it on all these cable systems around the country because it was so non-threatening. Well, Newsmax-TV is now the #4 highest rated cable news network in America. And it's growing. And it's growing and growing. It's not on every cable system. I think if it were on all of them like the other competitors are, they'd be 3 by now, because 3 is MSNBC. And I'm assuming by that they're beating Fox Business. And they carry the Trump rallies. Not only do they carry the Trump rallies, typically they send a great team with their like news director, program director, John Bachman, who's very good, and others, and they go to the rallies and they interview the players and the big time people, and they interview the locals and the attendees of the rally, and they do great stuff. And now, if you look at all the polls that have come out in the last week or two, Donald Trump is ahead of everyone by double digits, including our great governor, Ron DeSantis. So this morning we find out DirecTV has announced that they are dropping Newsmax-TV. And Newsmax-TV is a little better organized and has better people on it than they had on One American News so far as knowing how the business works and with context. Listen to this. This is in the Gateway Pundit, although it's being reported in many other places. And I hope Governor DeSantis gets involved in this, because DirecTV's corporate headquarters are located right here in South Florida in Boca Raton. I drive by it all the time. And they have studios here in Palm Beach, not far from where I'm standing. And maybe we should reach out to Newsmax and John Bachman and the great Chris Ruddy and have them on the program and get behind saving Newsmax-TV. Let me read through this. And this is a very important story, guys. DirecTV says, this is in the Gateway Pundit, but like I say, it's in many sources. DirecTV says they will drop Newsmax, and this comes a year after they dropped One American News, OAN. GOP lawmakers are promising to investigate this red flag amendment violation. So now we've got the House, and these House members aren't going to take this lying down. They've asked DirecTV, this is what the Congress has done, the Republican-controlled House has asked DirecTV to turn over their ratings for each of their channels and fees paid by the network to all of those channels. DirecTV pays 11 liberal channels that they have on their lineup. Republican members of Congress are urging DirecTV to reconsider dropping the conservative cable news network Newsmax from its lineup, voicing concern that the decision affects their ability to reach constituents. And yeah, so we've got, I'm so glad, we got the House now, we've got the committees, there's going to be an investigation. They're not going to get away with this. I don't think they're going to get away with this in the end. Even if they drop it, they'll probably end up bringing it back. Now, we got to take our last break of the hour, but when we get back, I want to talk more about this because it's very, very important what's happening here. Okay, guys? DirecTV has announced they are canceling, they are dropping from their lineup Newsmax, which is the only place you can go on television and get the rallies. Now, my name is Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll take that break and be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on.
It's pretty bad.
Steve Kane Show.
It's pretty bad, guys. See, I know I saw some people in the chat says, who watches TV? I get everything online. Well, you're a YouTube audience, so you're an internet person. Millions of people get their news and information from cable news, from Newsmax. So because who watches that? Well, that's just because you're self-centered, right? You know that old expression? I look up, the sun's over my head, so this, the sun revolves around me, No, that's a big deal. That Newsmax is not on as many cable systems as like Fox, but it's the only place that's on most of them, including DirecTV, where you can get the Trump rallies on TV. And they are doing this because of the Trump rallies. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be following this a lot. Yeah, but a lot of people don't have those. You can't make it that. Most people have cable or DirecTV, you know? You know, there's too many hurdles. Oh, if you download this app, I mean, they got a great app, and they stream on YouTube too, but Newsmax, I love everything on Newsmax except Greta Van Boring. No. I mean, I interviewed her when her show debuted, and I mean, I had a hard time making that interesting, you know. But this is big stuff. I mean, this is definitely because they carry the rallies. I mean, that's the only reason. And I think Greg Kelly is the best thing in cable news. Yeah, I think Greta Van Susteren looks like Don Johnson from the Miami Vice days. The way she dresses and her hair and everything. That'd be nice, Freedom Soup. Make sure you guys like the video. That helps get the word out about this channel so much in this program. This is how we end up recommended in people's feeds, is when you like the video. YouTube, when you guys all like the video, that gets YouTube to recommend this video and my channel to people that have not yet discovered it. It comes up in the recommended feed. I mean, how many of you found me through YouTube recommendations? Yes, we are back, and you know, we got our cruise next week. I'm very excited, and of course, it's that time of year. Everyone's on a diet. Diets do not work. You're not going to lose weight and keep it off. If you even lose weight, you're not going to keep it off. Any Lab Test Now with Boca, which has been a sponsor of the Steve Kane Show for many years, has expanded, and right next door they have Forever Youth, and They have your solution, the Cool Sculpting Elite. It's FDA approved. It does everything liposuction does without an invasive procedure. It's in office. There's no downtime. It's not invasive. It permanently freezes away your fat cells and removes the fat from your body. You know, your body only has so many fat cells in it. Once they're frozen away, they're gone. And then they sculpt the part of the body they're removing the fat from so that it looks and is in the shape that you want it to look. And it works on all areas of body fat, the stomach, the love handles, the backs of your arms, your back, your legs. If you have a neck like Mitch McConnell or double chin or something, it works on any part of your body. And right now, Forever Youth is offering 50% off the Cool Sculpting Elite for Steve Kane Show listeners. So give them a call. Here's their number, 50% off. That's right. You guys going with us on the cruise, there's still time. 561-717-8081. 561-717-8081. They're right next to Any Lab Test Now of Boca in the Sandalfoot Plaza where the Western Beef is in West Boca, south of Palmetto Park Road, north of Hillsboro on the east side of 441 State Road 7. 50% off the Cool Sculpting Elite. That's amazing. 561-717-8081. 561-717-8081. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio to get that 50% off deal. Okay, so DirecTV has announced they're going to cancel Newsmax. I don't have DirecTV. I used to have it years ago because it was cheap. And in rainy and hurricane season in Florida, I kept losing the picture every time the cloud went over. I've got... what do I have? I think I have Verizon, and we've got Newsmax, and Newsmax has a great app and everything else. But here's the thing. Even in this age of the internet, most people that follow news get it from television. And Newsmax, if Newsmax continues its level of growth, they will beat Fox. You know, I was with Fox since they became big. Fox went on the air in 1994, and no one watched it. It was boring. terminally boring. And then in the Bush-Gore election, the 2000 recount in Florida, when all the media were here in South Florida, Fox News was discovered. You know, the same way that you all discovered Newsmax, everyone back then, all the Republicans, we discovered Fox News. And I was down at the vote counting rooms every day. They first counted them, well, they counted in Palm Beach here, but in Broward County, I was living in Broward County at the time, they counted them in Plantation at the governmental center next to that library, next to where the courthouse is that's round. You guys know that on Broward Boulevard, and is that Pine Island? I think it's Pine Island and Broward Boulevard. They have a governmental center over there next to that West Broward County branch of the public library, and I was over there every day. And I met people like Bob Dole, which was a big deal because he was our nominee in the election before that there. And the entire press was there. I've even seen myself on some History Channel documentaries in the background, hanging out there. And I got a lot of, but anyway, William LaJeunesse from Fox News Channel was covering it. And when he would do a segment and the camera would go off, I would see Republicans go up to William LaJeunesse and hug him and thank him. I just discovered Fox News. I can't believe all this mainstream media. I didn't know you, and they were hugging him. And Fox News quickly became number one and stayed there because they were doing what Newsmax has been doing the last 2 years. Like carrying the Trump rallies, when Fox News has become CNN. And this attack on Newsmax, I'm going to be covering this and following this a lot. And I'm so happy that we have the Republicans in the House of Representatives that are going to take this on. This is big. Once they get it off of DirecTV, that's a blow that I don't know if they'll be able to survive in their current state. You know, I was looking through some of the stories today, and it didn't tell me what percentage of their viewers are from DirecTV, but it's got to be at least 30%, if not greater than 50. One American News, at the end, it was 80%, but they had already been canceled by so many different cable outlets. And Newsmax has been attacked by local cable too. And what's happened here, it's all about the Trump rallies. It's because they carry the Trump rallies and they're catching up. And they're about, I bet you, if you went through the ratings, that Newsmax is number 4 in cable news, okay? That means they're right behind MSNBC. I bet you they're about to catch up to MSNBC, at least in some day parts. In fact, they've been such a ratings powerhouse. Jesse Waters got his show on Fox because of Greg Kelly at Newsmax. Greg Kelly, when he was on at 7 o'clock, which I missed because his time that he's on now is too late for me because I get up so early in the morning to do the show here. But Greg Kelly, in that 7 o'clock hour on Newsmax, was beating Fox News in the ratings. They took Martha McCallum off and put her on during the day. They demoted her. And for about a year, they were putting people up. And they finally put Jesse Waters there. And he's a big powerhouse. And I guess, Greg Kelly couldn't quite compete with him. But they put Greg Kelly on now. What is he on at 10 against Laura Ingraham? And he was put on at 10 against Laura Ingraham to do to Laura Ingraham, who I think is overrated and boring, but she's very much a Republican establishment person. I'm not a big fan of Laura Ingram's. I never have been. She's very strange, and I don't think she's that great, but she's part of the Washington Republican Weekly Standard crowd, regardless of what she tells you. But they put Greg Kelly, who I think has the greatest show in cable news, they put Greg Kelly on to bring her down, and he's obviously having some effect. And I bet you, if you go behind this move by DirecTV, there's a Fox News connection. Remember, the Murdochs announced that they will not carry the Trump rallies or carry Trump in the next election on any of their outlets, which goes for Fox News, Fox Business, New York Post, the Wall Street Journal, whatever else they have. And what Newsmax has been doing is understanding that there's an entire audience that they're neglecting. And Newsmax has, with great success, gone after the MAGA audience. And I'm telling you, they must be just about to be number 3. They would be higher rated if they were on more platforms. So I know some of you, you may not like this person or that person on Newsmax. I think they're great. My favorite is Greg Kelly. I forgot the name of the guy that comes on at 8. Oh, boy. He comes on after Greta. And, boy, I just forgot his name. He is spectacular. He is great. He'd be number 1 if it were not for Greg Kelly. He is very, very good. Rob Schmidt is his name. Rob Schmidt and Greg Kelly have the 2 greatest shows in cable news. I like John Bachman during the day. He does a really good show, too, and he hits on all the issues, and he's out of it. He's got a studio here in Palm Beach. And I've seen him over at Mar-a-Lago. He does great stuff. But, and he's the one who leads the team to the rally. So this is an effort to stop Trump. This because they hate Trump, and they hate you, and they hate me, and they don't want MAGA to grow. They don't want MAGA to win, and they don't want MAGA to have a platform. Now, and Newsmax has a great app, and it's free. They live stream on YouTube and everything. But taking them off of DirecTV, that's brutal. Steve has DirecTV. He watches Newsmax. He won't be able to anymore. But they're going to have some explaining to do. Now that we have this Trump-controlled House of Representatives, and they went right for it, right? They want to know the ratings of all the channels on DirecTV and do a comparison to these channels that they're supporting versus Newsmax, and they're going to haul the Newsmax executives in front of House committees to explain themselves. And they still own it, so at when it's all over, they can do whatever it is they want to do, I guess. But they're not going to make it easy on them, the Republicans. And Bed Bath & Beyond is going out of business because they went after MAGA, right? Mike Lindell. It's true. It's true. DirecTV here in this country could have a very similar experience. Now, a lot of guys that do talk shows like I do are connected to Fox and things like that and may not want to get out there on it, but I'm going to. And if I had DirecTV, which I don't, but if I had DirecTV, I'd be calling up Verizon that carries Newsmax, and I'd be getting that. That's what I would do. And I would be very vocal in telling Newsmax I was leaving them just because of, well, their cancellation of Newsmax. We got to stand by Newsmax. And I know some of you will say, well, in Newsmax, they did this or they did that and everything else. Overall, they're a very MAGA channel. There's been a couple moments over there. That one guy on during the day, Sellers, remember he walked out on Mike Lindell while he was interviewing him live. I mean, there's been moments, but I think it's a MAGA channel, and I think they do great work and great reporting. Now, speaking of Mike Lindell, who spoke at Diamond & Silk's funeral with President Trump Saturday night, Valentine's Day is here. Go to MyPillow.com. Use our promo code at checkout, Kane, Kane, for amazing deals and amazing savings. You can take advantage of all the specials at MyPillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout. Not just the ones that I share, but right now, great Valentine's Day gift are the MyPillow My Slippers. Steve has 2 pairs. He's got a third on the way. And I've got 2 pairs, and they're $100 off right now for Valentine's Day, just $59.98 with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. They have a bunch of new colors and a whole bunch of new sizes, too, of the MyPillow My Slippers. They have large, wide sizes for the men that they didn't have before and smaller sizes for women and children. So they're $100 off right now, just $59.98 with our promo code Kane, Kane. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, Kane. They make a great Valentine's Day gift. And let me tell you, the first pair I got, they look like I got them yesterday because everything Mike makes is of high quality. 1 hour down, 2 to go. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back after this. Yeah, that's a big deal, guys.
Injured recently? Call the Ropes Law Group, where winning 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Robes, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope your day's off to a great start. Our high today is only going to be the upper 70s thanks to that cold front that came through yesterday. You can really feel the winds change. Winds more northeasterly today, and it will be less humid outside as well. And then the EPB out play by First Warning meteorologist Sandra Shaw. Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1, Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
Oh, man. Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane Show. Hold on. Steve Kane Show. Hold on. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, and everyone click the verification button as well, okay? And like the video. I want to take some calls maybe after the break, and I got more to talk about too. This is just... You know, this thing with Newsmax is a big deal. It really is. I mean, you guys should really... I mean, you got to stand with Newsmax-TV. There's just no getting around it. I mean, I have some contacts over there. You're not, I didn't block you. I don't even know who you are. You're here, so. Elon Musk, well, Elon can't buy everything. If you were blocked, we wouldn't be able to see you. If you got blocked on another account, it's probably because you're using all those caps and annoying people. No. Oh, let me play this. Don't have time, man. Hold on.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy? SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call
Yeah. I wanted to play this audio, but I can't get it to the video to play.
683-7733 or go to selectquote.com. 1-800-683-7733. That's 1-800-683-7733. SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed. And the chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes. Join the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2. Twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit JacksonHewitt.com for more.
wearing these yellow leggings that I'll show to you in a second. And they continue to say, I'm really sorry we have to have this conversation, but apparently you're making a few women feel uncomfortable with the leggings that you wear.
All right. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Hour number 2 has begun. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Welcome back. I was reading this story that's unrelated to the things we would normally talk about, but I don't care. I'm going to bring this up anyway. It's going all over the place. Twitch influencer Jessica Fernandez films a man staring at her, quote, like a piece of meat at the gym. Have you seen this story? A female Twitch streamer has gone viral, which is all that, these Generation Z people care about. After posting a video of a gym goer staring at her during a workout. Jessica Fernandez, a video game and lifestyle content creator with nearly 56,000 followers on Twitch and 10,000 subs on YouTube, much smaller channel than mine, posted the video on Twitter last week, where it has been viewed 2.6 million times. This guy kept making me extremely uncomfortable at the gym, she wrote. This is why I end up crying on the stream, because I feel so grossed out at times with the amount of sexualization I experience. Hopefully this spreads awareness for girls who experience this type of treatment at the gym. In the video, she's seen lifting weights, and she's wearing, like spandex, everything. She's lifting weights while a man in the background can be seen repeatedly glancing over at her. Stupid piece of blanking blank behind me, she whispers into her microphone. I hate this. I hate when there's weirdos. Gets me uncomfortable. Feral, like blanking feral. Later in the video, the man approaches her and offers to help her put the weights on the bar. He wants to spot her. You want to put it on, he asks. She replies, you don't have to do that. I got it. Thank you. After he leaves, she continues to rant to the camera. What part of me working out by myself looks like I'm a damsel in distress, she says. She explains on Twitter that men staring at her trigger my flight or fight response. Okay. This is what you do. Go to the women's gym. Go to a gym that is female only, like the YWCA, workouts. If you go to a gym, I don't go to the gym, okay? I'm not a gym goer. But if you're a man and you're at the gym and there's a girl wearing hardly anything, a lot of skin showing, and what she's wearing is skin-tight yoga pants or spandex, and she's bending over in front of you, how can you not look? I'm sorry, how can a guy not look? Is it even possible let me rephrase that. For a straight guy to not look. It's, it's not. It's not. And, that's, I know people, I don't think it is possible not to look, even if you don't want to look. My wife, I've told this story a few times, not on the air, but to people, and my wife gets it. My wife and I my wife, if she's listening, I'll hear about this when I get home, that this was like 10 years ago or so. We were at Publix. If my wife's listening, she already knows the story. We were at Publix, and there was a woman wearing a white dress with nothing on underneath, and it was completely see-through. You could see everything. And not only did I notice it, every guy in Publix was following her around and watching. Front and back, you could see everything. And the managers were very busy stocking shelves and stuff on the aisles where they thought she was going to be walking. Front and back, completely see-through. And my wife's like, well, why are you looking? You're looking too. I said, how can you not look? How can you help but not look? So in this era that we are in, when heterosexuality is an evil thing. You know, everyone's got to be different genders and all these strange things. If you're a girl and you're at the gym and you don't want guys looking at you, go work out at a girl's gym or don't dress that way. You know, another thing about this, I'll tell you. How did she find out the guy was staring at her? Because she was making a video for, I don't know, her Twitch channel, her YouTube channel or something. So she had the camera facing her and could see behind her. And the camera was on her phone. Guys have always looked at women at the gym. You know, or you know what she could do? She could go to a gay gym where there's only gay guys. How about that? I mean, you might get some lesbians in there, ladies. But, you know, go to the gay gym where there's only gay guys, not straight guys. That might help. But guys have always looked at the girls at the gym because how can you not? How can you help not to see this? And they just either ignored it or didn't realize it. But if you're filming yourself, you see what's behind you, which you normally don't see, right? You know, like right now I'm live streaming on YouTube and I can see everything going on behind me, which I would not normally see because I got a camera and and I see the screen while I'm streaming on the radio. You know, it's the way it is. And by the way, what is she doing at the gym and why is she filming herself? You know why? So she looks hot and desirable. So she spends a lot of her time looking hot, in shape, and desirable, wearing these kind of clothes, and she thinks she looks so hot, she's streaming it and filming herself for her YouTube channel, her Twitch, and all this stuff. And she's complaining when people notice that she looks hot, although I don't think she's all that, but you know what I mean. I spend 3-4 days a week at the gym trying to look hot and sexy. Why are these men looking at me? Well, stop working out. Stop eating, start eating donuts and cupcakes and things, and they won't be looking at you in a sexualized way. And by the way, stop wearing skimpy skin-tight clothes with your back to a man at the gym and stop bending over to pick up the barbell. Okay, that might keep their eye off of you as well. My goodness, it must be so difficult to be single today. I could not imagine what it is like to be single today. I mean, how do you a guy asks a girl out, all of a sudden he's gone viral on the internet as some type of creep. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, conservative.
Hey, Doug.
You're making me think about, I was on the beach one time and, all the girls are wearing the thong bikinis looking as hot as they can possibly. And then all of a sudden this 450-pounder comes wearing with a thong bikini. It's like, oh my God, put something on. Man, oh man, some of these women, they'll do anything to try to be hot. And without
and if you look, you're a creep. This girl is basically like a flasher.
Yeah, exactly. They come in. I was in Publix. I saw every guy in the place saw this hot girl coming in wearing this thing that it looked like she had paint on. That's what it looked like. It was the clothes are so tight. But they want to have get attention. They get it, and everybody looks. I guess that's what they want. I mean, otherwise they dress a little less obvious. And Just, then you get the other women who can't stand the idea that men are looking there. I don't get these women, but this is what they have. Anyway, Newsmax. I didn't hear. I tuned in a little late. I heard you say Newsmax is good. DirecTV has announced they are canceling Newsmax-TV, and I think it's because Newsmax carries the Trump rallies. Yeah, I had this argument with DirecTV. I have DirecTV, unfortunately, anyway, so now I'm going to cancel it, that's for sure. When they took off One American News, they told me, oh, no, they want too much money to have us pay them. They're not making the money, and it's just a financial situation. And I don't know. Well, that's not gonna fly this time because there's going to be a Republican House hearing on this, and they're going to call the DirecTV executives in with all of their data, including ratings and how much they pay each channel, to find out what they're not going to let happen to Newsmax what happened to OAN. I hope not. Which basically no longer exists, OAN.
I got to find another network to watch. I mean, not network, another TV.
Well, I've got Verizon. Well, DirecTV still has Newsmax. So, you know, we want them to keep Newsmax. So maybe now is not the time to cancel it over it. Maybe now is just the time to call them and tell them you will if they cancel it.
I definitely will do that today because I love them. I watch them more than Fox most of the time. I'm
gonna reach out. I'm gonna reach out to Newsmax. I mean, they might be upset with me because I say Greta's boring, but I love Newsmax. You know, and I think Newsmax is awesome. I've got the app on all my devices. We got Newsmax right here on the television inside the radio studio. I've got the app on all my devices. I watch them on YouTube mostly, and sometimes on TV. On the weekends when I'm doing work like cleaning the house and stuff, I'll watch the episodes of Greg Kelly I missed during the week on Saturdays and Sundays sometimes. You know, it's I mean, I'm a big support. The only thing Newsmax has done that I don't like is when they put Greta on. Greta should be on the weekends. She's just not Greta is a morning person, and by the time her show's on in the afternoon, she's like out of gas.
I think you're right. That's definitely a mistake. Rob Schmidt is fantastic.
Rob Schmidt is spectacular. I mean, that guy should be getting Emmys, him and Greg Kelly.
Yeah, but he's up against Jesse, so it's a little tough. I wind up going back and forth.
Well, the only reason that Rob Schmidt is not bigger is because people don't know about him. If you gave up Jesse Waters and went to Rob Schmidt for a couple days, you would not go back.
He's very good, but Brandon needs to be put on. Like they said later on.
Well, the problem with Greta is they got an exciting thing, and then she comes on, and it's like, oh, it's like putting the brakes on, and then you forget to go back. It interrupts the flow. But I love Newsmax, and and if we have them on, I'm not gonna give them a hard time. I'm gonna tell you straight out the box, okay? I will not criticize them for having Greta on. When I talk to them and stuff, because I mean I like Greta. I really do. I lived with her for 9 months on my television during the OJ trial, and she's spectacular. But anyway, all right. Hey, listen, thanks for the call. Take care. We'll take our first break of the second hour. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE1. Be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-CANE1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig on Oldies 95.9 and 106.9.
That girl you're talking about.
Yeah.
The gym video. What I love about the internet is people do digging. So
Yeah.
I found out she has links to her
OnlyFans?
Yeah.
Oh, she's got an OnlyFans?
She's got an OnlyFans.
Oh my gosh! So she's upset that he's not paying to see her.
Exactly.
Really? I gotta find that. I gotta find that.
Let me see if I can. I'm pretty sure I have it somewhere. Not the link, but the video of people fighting. It's like that's her. Look.
Oh my gosh.
Sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
Hi, Kate here from Will Floor You. How about we welcome in the new year with an awesome sale on an entire flooring collection from Karastan, America's premier carpets, luxury plank, and hardwood flooring. For over 100 years, Karastan has produced the most fashionable floors with high colors, design-forward patterns, and textures. A must-see when planning your flooring purchase, Will Floor You has been flooring homes for over 30 years with top-notch installations. Always the best price and quality brands like Karastan. Hope to see you soon in Jupiter, Stewart, and on the web at willfloor.com.
Hello, this is Frank from Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location, offering great deals
on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Rabbi David calling. Hey, I'm calling today about something not political, but something very personal.
Yeah, I've got Starlink internet on the cruise, so when I live stream, I'll be live streaming courtesy of Elon Musk's Starlink. I am feeling better. Just a little tired. Got to catch up on some rest.
And I didn't know what to do. Your mother called you crying. I remembered from the show, of course, and you guys know this Dr. Appleton. I took her down there last week. She wasn't able to sleep before that. She took her last Friday. She slept Saturday half the day away because she didn't have any pain anymore. I couldn't believe it. I'm my mother's hero now.
So Dr. Appleton is rabbi recommended.
So now he's got rabbinical supervision. I have to really thank him. After one time, from crying to me on the phone to sleeping like a baby that night.
Do what Rabbi David did. Call Dr. Appleton and say bye-bye to your pain. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. On the air since 1977. It's the Steve Show.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. Anne Marie's in Pompano, great supporter of this program and of our radio station, and just has the best Italian food I've ever had. It's homemade. Grandma's in the kitchen using her own recipes, Grandma's recipes. It's absolutely amazing. You know, they have lunch specials which have out-of-this-world low prices, but the portions are huge. The first meal Steve and I had at Anne, and I try to save the Anne Marie's commercial till later in the show in the last hour, because just now as I started talking about Anne Marie's, I got hungry. Oh man, and I can't eat until after 9 o'clock because I'm on the air. But Anne Marie's, the first meal Steve and I had at Anne Marie's was Sunday lunch, and we ordered from the lunch specials, and I ordered the baked ziti. And they brought me this massive plate of baked ziti. And I said, is that the lunch portion or the dinner portion? She said, they're the same portions. The portions are huge. I ate that. I took it home. I ate it for dinner and had a little bit left over the next day. The portions are huge, even on the lunch specials. I went over there on Christmas Eve. Remember I told you guys I got my my family, we had Christmas dinner takeout from Anne Marie's. Got all the great Italian favorites, and the Banks roll, the Jerry's Bank rolls are out of this world. And while I went in and ordered on the spot, and it was a pretty big order, you know. And while they were, because everything's homemade, while they were making my food, let me have a couple slices. I had the lunch special with the pizza slices, 2 pizza slices. My goodness, it was like a personal pizza. The slices were huge, filled up the whole plate, and it was filling. I could hardly finish it. The portions were so huge. It's amazing. And just great prices on their lunch specials. Now, Valentine's Day is coming up. Great place to take your Valentine on Valentine's Day. They also have a VIP wine club over there, which means they have great wines, which are very romantic for Valentine's Day. So stop in. Anne Marie's is located on the northwest corner of US 1 Federal Highway and Copans Road in the same plaza as the movie theater. And if you want to see if you can reserve a table for Valentine's Day, I don't know if you can, but call them. They're open today. They were closed on Monday. They're open today. Give them a call, 954-889-6600. 954-889-6600. Anne Marie's Pizza and Wine Company in Pompano. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Sarah from Fort Myers.
Hey, Fort Myers. What's up?
Yeah, you're right about in the Newsmax. I get it on Comcast. I'm probably one of the few still have Comcast, but I don't see them going away on there. Yeah, Grant, just you're right, ruins the whole flow, because they used to have Stutzfield, he was great, Grant. That's a shame they got rid of him. And then they had a nice flow of, they had a nice flow of attractive men. You had Grant Rod Smith, you had Grant Kelly.
Oh, you're lusting after the men, like the guy looking at the girl at the gym. Well, here's the thing about Newsmax, okay? Newsmax, once they take it off of DirecTV, other cable outlets will follow, and they've had cable outlets up against them for a while. And when the Republicans are going to have House hearings on this, and when they haul the executives in and they swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, or they'll be lying to Congress, and you go to prison for that. I want to find out who's contacted them. I think they're lobbied by... See, Newsmax has been number 4 in cable news for a while now. My guess is that they're approaching the point where they can say they're number 3 and beat MSNBC. And they're trying to stop them before that happens because they carry the Trump rallies that they don't want on TV.
She'd be good like at 4 o'clock or at 1 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that.
Or the weekend. Greta on the weekend would be nice. Put Greta on the weekends.
My only critique, my son who's young and he's in his early 20s, he said the only thing about Newsmax, and he says, now, I've never heard you brought this up before, their target is more of my age group, 50s, 60s, 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds aren't watching Newsmax. It's a little bit, they need that's why they have Jesse Waters come on at 7, because, he's a little bit more geared to the younger crowd. That's something they'd have to reach.
Well, I don't know. I think they do. I think they do a great job. And I'm really... Well, Bob Sellers, I don't like Bob Sellers. I got to, but listen, I want to tell you this, okay? Because I know people, Newsmax's corporate headquarters is down the street from my house, okay? So, and I know that people from Newsmax listen to this program. When we have the Newsmax people on the show, I will not criticize Greta or Bob Sellers. I promise. And a lot of people don't like Bob. Remember he walked out on Mike Lindell during a live interview.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why, that's hard. I've never seen something like that.
But you're right, she ruins the flow. She's boring. I'm sorry. You know what I do? I can't watch Brett Baer. I hate him because he's a rhino. And I don't like her, so I cancel both of them out. And I watch something totally different, and then I come back at 7 o'clock.
But people forget, when you have... See, television, you don't want people to switch away for an hour. They'll forget to come back. As much as I love Rod Schmidt, I can't watch Greta, so I forget until it's like half over or over.
That's terrible to put Greg Kelly on at 10.
Well, it's not great if it's not bad if you're up at 10. These are the least of their problems. They're under attack right now by corporate media. Listen, I got to run for our break, but thanks for the call. We'll be back right after this.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Just looking over the next story I'm going to talk about. Well, thank you. Yeah, I wore this hat today because I was talking at the top of the show about DeSantis and the Black history. Where am I? There we are.
I mean, the sec.
Let me get into this thing with Newsom after the break.
Repair, commercial roofs, schools, municipal buildings, office buildings, emergency repairs. If it's roofing, Tom Napoli can do it. Call
You were traveling all last week. Well, I'll be traveling all next week. Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
Hi, this is Megan. Come celebrate our anniversary.
This time next week, I'll be waking up in the British Virgin Islands. But I will live stream. When I'm gone next week, guys, I will live stream and I'll put up vlogs of the trip. You guys can see what a good time you're missing out on and maybe come next time, huh?
Located in the Seminole Shops Plaza in North Palm Beach or online at palmbeachpatiofurniture.com. And follow us on Instagram at Palm Beach Patio Furniture.
Hi, this is Maureen Cohen from
We may do some podcasting with Kathy.
We're so excited to be celebrating 50 years here in South Florida. The Cohen family started their first health food store in 1972.
Ron DeSantis Jr. Wow.
Owned family-run health food stores in the area. We carry thousands of supplements like vitamins, minerals, herbs, homeopathics, diet and fitness, and so much more. All your favorite top quality brands. We also have tons of natural foods like gluten-free, paleo, and organic, as well as health and beauty aids, pet foods, and more. Visit Vanessa, Trish, Denson, Scott, and Bruce. They're here 7 days a week for all your family's natural health needs. So stop by Nutrition World at the northeast corner of PGA Boulevard and Prosperity Farms Road in the Carmine's Market Plaza by the Prosperity entrance. You can call us or text us anytime at 561-626-4377. That's 626-4377. Or check out our website at nutritionworld.com. Come see us 7 days a week at Nutrition World, Palm Beach Gardens.
Now,
Here we go.
the Steve Kane Show, celebrating 45 years on the air.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. It is the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Montana Mark.
Hey, Mark, what's up?
Hearing about Newsmax coming, hitting by DirecTV, do you think that would affect Newsmax on the internet?
I don't understand what you mean.
Well, I only get Trump's rallies through the internet, and just having a flip phone is really...
Well, a flip phone? My goodness. Where are you calling me from? 1996? Where are you calling me from? To my knowledge, Newsmax is the only cable news outlet that carries all of the Trump rallies on television. I don't count One American News anymore because they're really not on TV to speak of. And I think that DirecTV is run by a bunch of liberal jerks. They destroyed One American News, OAN, and now they're knocking Newsmax off because they don't want the Trump rallies on television. And this is a preemptive strike before the rallies are going to start soon, probably over the summer.
Well, I used to get all Trump rallies on RSBN, and
yeah, but that's the problem. Okay, That's on the internet. Most people get their news and information from television still. It may not seem that way to you because you're like an online internet person. Most people get their news. I'll give you an example, okay? When Diamond of Diamond and Silk died, did you watch the memorial on Right Side Broadcasting?
I don't have the ability to get that.
No, it was on Right Side. If you watch RSBN, it's like, well, anyway, a lot of people are like, what is the big, a lot of people were saying this. I saw people saying this over the last few days. Why is the death of Diamond said they've been out for a long time? Why is Trump there? They have been huge. They had a show online, and they've been out there and everywhere, but they haven't been on television news in a while. Fox News got rid of them, fired them. You know, and Newsmax is being attacked because they carry all of the Trump rallies. That's the only reason they're taking this off. And as I was saying before the bottom of the hour break, there's going to be a Republican House hearing on this. They're going to call in all the executives from Newsmax or from DirecTV about this, and they are going to require that they bring with them the ratings of all of their channels and how much they pay each channel. And they're going to have some explaining to do. And they're going to find that Newsmax has higher ratings than we realize when this happens. And these MAGA Republicans that now control the House of Representatives with Kevin McCarthy, the hand-picked Speaker of the House by President Trump, I think that they're going to end up staying on DirecTV. It's going to be a big deal. It's going to be a great hearing. Yeah.
And I'm very behind the times, you know, because I'm still on a flip phone.
That's what you said, yeah. Can you actually, are you talking to me on a flip phone? Are you talking to me on a flip phone right now?
I'm on the flip phone, but I also get YouTube.
Wow, that's amazing. I didn't know those things still worked. Wow. Hey, listen, Montana Mark, take care. Thanks for the call. I want to get to this thing with Newsom, okay? And I know everyone's showing this and talking about it because he just looks like an idiot. He gave an interview on television talking about doing away with the Second Amendment, and he's surrounded by multiple armed security guards as he's walking down the sidewalk in California. Listen.
I mean, the Second Amendment's becoming a suicide package. I mean, it's just, and that's the only question the community wants. How do you get, what about our kids? Are they going to school? What more can we do? And, you know, again, we look at that all the time. I'm going to get another half dozen gun safety bills last year. We'll continue to find whatever loopholes we can. We'll continue to lead the national conversation on gun safety reform. And the data bears out it works. It saves lives. California's 37% lower death rate than the rest of the nation. And yet, with all that evidence, no one on the other side seems to give a damn. They can't get any of them out of Congress.
Okay. So, you know, he said the Second Amendment is becoming a suicide pact and needs to be done away with, but he's surrounded by security, all of them armed. He looks like an idiot, right? But he's a Democrat. What do you expect other than him humiliating himself and looking stupid? Well, you know, my understanding with this latest shooting is that he had a gun that is not even legal in the state of California. But here's the thing with gun control, okay? It is incredibly unpopular, and it's something that is never going to happen. Even if you're a strong supporter of gun control, and the country was, and it's not. Okay, so say everyone in America who's a gun owner, I'm a gun owner, and I own multiple guns. If every gun owner in America said, okay, I'm talking about legal gun owner, we support gun control, we're going to turn in all of our guns. And then they were able to even get the illegal guns, right? So if every gun that was manufactured, that is in the possession legally or illegally, is willingly handed over, do you think that would solve the problem? You know, in the old days, it would. But because of the advancements of 3D printing, it will not work. It will not work. You can 3D print any gun. And I know some people will say, well, but how long will it work? I don't know. I've seen online. They 3D printed AR-15s a few years ago that got off a few rounds. But I promise you this, that if all guns were confiscated and every gun owner turned them in, and the only way to get guns was 3D printing them, not only would 3D printing technology advance light years overnight, but every criminal outfit in the country would have a 3D printer, and those guns would be untraceable. They wouldn't have serial numbers or anything on them. You would know they were 3D printed, but that's it. So the whole idea of gun control, even if the country agreed to do it, it's an impossible thing to happen if we all turn in our guns because of the 3D printing technology. So it's just a ridiculous position they have. You know, the other thing about it that they're going to run into on this is it's not a popular issue outside of California, outside of New York. And maybe it's not so popular in New York anymore because of the rise in crime. It's just not, and it never has been. Okay? There's not an anti-gun move. We're all against school shootings. We're all against mass shootings. We're all against people illegally using the gun. The reason that I'm a gun owner is for home protection. That's it. You know, something to say today. We have hurricanes in Florida, and they've cleaned up the power system, so we don't have the problems as much as we used to. But there were a couple of hurricanes. We didn't have power for a couple of weeks. And you get 4, 5, 6 days into not having power, and you start to notice there's some cars driving around your neighborhood at night when there's no street lights and you don't recognize the cars. So, you know, I have guns for home protection. You know, and that's the way it is. And I know most people that own guns own them for home protection, or they like to target shoot, or maybe they just go around and collect rent and want to feel safe. I don't know. It's no one's business as long as you're a law-abiding gun owner. But gun control is just, it's one of those things that's impossible to achieve because of the 3D printers, even if everyone in the country agreed that it should be done. All right? And what they're starting to do now with this gun control thing is between that and abortion. Remember Rush used to say the Democrats have that old Democrat worn-out playbook, always back to the same thing. Race, gun control, and abortion are right at the top of the list, and they got 2 of them out already. Gun control and abortion. Yeah, run on that. You'll win California and New York, all right? Now, we're going to take our last break of the second hour. I'm Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. When we get back, there's a lot more to talk about. I've only just scratched the surface. I mean, there's just been so much news breaking lately. It's hard for even me to keep up with it, but I do, and we'll get to more of it after the break. Don't go anywhere. It's The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Back after this.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Mornings were made for better things than rheumatoid arthritis or RA. Xeljanz tofacitinib is a pill for adults with moderate to severe RA. Necrosis factor blockers did not work well or could not be tolerated. Xeljanz can help relieve joint pain, swelling, and help stop further joint damage. Xeljanz can lower your ability to fight infections. Don't start if you have one. Before and during treatment, your doctor should check for infections like TB and do blood tests. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, cancers including lymphoma and lung, blood clots, serious heart-related events, tears in the stomach or intestines, and allergic reactions can happen. People 50 and older with heart disease risk factors have an increased risk of death. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B or C, have flu-like symptoms, are prone to infections, or have ever had a heart attack, stroke, clot, or other heart problems, or swelling of lips, tongue, throat, or hives. Ask your doctor about prescription Xeljanz. Visit Xeljanz.com or call 1-844-XELJANZ.
You're not a sound mechanic. You probably don't think they exist, but one does. Eddie at Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca will never do a repair on your vehicle that your vehicle doesn't need. He works on all makes and models. Old classic cars, even hybrids. Champagne Automotive Repair is the official mechanic of the Steve Kane Show. Call 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101. Make sure you tell him you heard about him on the Steve Kane Show.
This is Lori Kane. When people go to the dentist, they think of the pain, but the biggest pain is the
Oh, that'd be great, Christine. I'd appreciate that. That'd be awesome.
dental care. The dental work is painless, and the prices are painless too. Call today, 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. BrightonDentalCare.com.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on.
All right, welcome back. And I want to talk about EET, our fence and gate repair experts. They did a great job repairing Steve's gate and his fence. They did a wonderful job. And the cool thing about it is it matches the rest of the fence. You wouldn't even know there was a repair, right? I mean, which is what you want. You don't want to have a repair done and then it doesn't match the rest of the fence and you don't know. You want it to match and look like you didn't have a repair. It's like when you have cosmetic work, you want to look great, but you don't want to look like you had a facelift, right? Does that make sense? It does to me, and that's all that matters right now, right? But EET, they do repairs on fences and gates. Now, if you need a new fence, if you need a new gate, they do that too, and they'll beat any competitor's price. So if you have an estimate on a gate, a fence of any size, they'll beat that competitor's price. They cover the entire range of all of our radio stations here in Florida. They do not only spectacular work, they give free estimates, right? They are very responsive. You call them. If they don't answer, they'll call you right back. Even after you've hired them, you can always get a hold of them during the whole job. No job is too small, and there's no minimum charge, but also no job is too big. So if you have a community or an office complex and you have repair or need new fencing or a gate repair or a new gate that's a massive gate for a community, they can help you with that as well. That's right. They work on all types of fencing too. Wood, PVC, chain link, aluminum, iron. They're family owned and operated, been in business over 20 years, and they're licensed and insured. And they did a great job on Steve's repairs. Give them a call. Here's the number, 561-255-1170. 561-255-1170. One more time, that's 561-255-1170. All right, I was just looking, David Hogg from the Parkland event, he tweeted yesterday about this shooting in California. And this is what happens. You know, this will sound kind of crazy to some people, but there's a such thing as having too much education. You know, in the old days, you go to college and you'd learn a skill. These days, most people go to college to learn how to think like a liberal and be a liberal, right? And there's just too much education going on out there that is the wrong kind of education, which is liberal indoctrination. And David Hogg tweeted after this California shooting, this just popped up in my Twitter feed, there's a reason the vast majority of these shooters are male. There is no talking about gun violence without talking about patriarchy. Now, that's a big fancy word. I know he goes to like Harvard or Yale. So I didn't go to Harvard or Yale. I went to Florida Atlantic University in Boca, okay? Carrot Top went to school there. I went to school there, and it's a good school, and it's a Florida university. And then I did my graduate work at Trump University at the Holiday Inn at the Palm Beach Airport on a Saturday afternoon. So I looked up patriarchy, okay, just to give you the a system or society of government in which the father or eldest male is head of the family. So David Hogg, he thinks it's a problem where the man is the head of the household and the head of the family. Who is the head of his family? Him? Not his dad? I mean, you know, I don't know what's going on in this country, okay? I'm not that old, and I don't really think I'm that old-fashioned, and I'm certainly not some stuffy guy. But I don't think there's a problem with... oh, okay. Someone's texting me. I didn't recognize the number. I was wondering who was texting me. I didn't think there was a problem with men being the head of their own family. So if a man is married to a woman and has kids, it's a problem if he's the head of the family? And that's why these things are happening? Well, explain Nicholas Cruz at Parkland, or Klebold and Harris, or most of these shooters, or most of these things. You know, and when it gets down to it, when the details start to come out, you find that there's typically a failure in the system and often law enforcement. This latest shooting in California, this guy I was reading this morning had been to the police with his grievances, I don't know how many times, countless times, and they did nothing. Same thing with Nicholas Cruz, right? He was told, the FBI was called about him. The police and domestic violence, including one involving elder violence, elder abuse, went to his home how many times? Over 20, and they did nothing because they did. You know, what we found out, and it's so interesting how this happened, and it's been totally disappeared. You know, they had that long trial, and none of this stuff came out, and the Parkland Marjorie Stoneman Douglas police officer that called in fake radio calls and hid while the shooting was going on, what happened to that guy? Has he copped a plea? They don't want, you know, they don't want these things to go to trial because the truth comes out. But the police were, the sheriff at the time was manipulating the crime stats. Right? And I remember after the Parkland shooting, they interviewed, I don't remember if it was a school teacher or a Parkland resident out in front of the school, and it was a woman, and it was on CNN, and I don't understand how this happened. We're the safest city in, it was either Florida or Broward County. And they had some distinction of being the safest city. And the reason that is every time they went to Nicholas Cruz's house, however many times, they never charged him. If you don't arrest people, there's no crime. It's a manipulation of crime statistics, because if there's crime, it affects property values and all kinds of other things inside of a city. And that's how Nicholas Cruz, they didn't want crime stats in the school system. They had that ridiculous program. They didn't want crime stats on the school records and an expulsion and all these things. They didn't want all those records, so they just kind of passed Nicholas Cruz along, and he was allowed to remain free, and then he did what it is that he did. And that's why the cop hid. He got a call on the radio that Nicholas Cruz was on campus, and he went and hid because Nicholas Cruz was scary. I told you I met Nicholas Cruz once before the shooting at Wawa, and he scared the daylights out of me. Okay? So, you know, the way, and that one I just know a little bit more about because it's in our community. So I know more about that shooting and that incident. But you go through most of these incidents, you find very troubled people from troubled families. You know, even, you know, that's the sad tragedy of Sandy Hook, right? My recollection is that even though he was suffering from severe mental problems, his mother not only had guns in the house, he had access to them, and she went shooting with them. And, you know, David Hogg says patriarchy is the problem, right, with these shooters. Well, Sandy Hook, maybe the problem was there was no patriarchy because dad wasn't in the home. Mom was without a dad. And mom's got a mental patient, literally a mental patient for his son, and mom thinks it's a good idea to have guns in the house with a mental patient and take them to the gun range and go shooting to teach them how to use them. I don't know. There's, you know, these things typically happen either because of a failure of family or a failure of the system. You know, in the thing with Nicholas Cruz, if Nicholas Cruz had been handled properly by the police during these incidents, he would not have been able to legally buy guns. I mean, that's just the way that it is. But they don't want to get into that. They really, you know, the left, you know, the left's greatest nightmare is that their grievances are solved. You know, the left like to keep people hanging in a crisis that they only are the ones with the solution. Only the left have the solutions, but they never want the solution, because if they solve a problem, well, then they lose that group. That's why so many blacks and gays are becoming Republican, because gays have achieved everything. We have racial equality, racial economic equality. They don't need Democrats anymore. Right? And we're many years beyond needing Democrats, and they lose them. So what do? They bring a replacement demographic into the country that's reliant on them. And the Democrats, remember President Trump was talking about giving amnesty to the Dreamers and the Democrats. Schumer and Pelosi stopped it. Why? Because they don't want them to have permanent status. They want them to always be in a state of limbo so that the Democrats can come in every couple of years and save them. But they won't solve it then. They'll kick it down the road a couple more years so they can come back and save them again. If they all have permanent status, well, you don't need the Democrat Party anymore. Same goes for gun control. All right? All right, our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. There's nothing you can do to stop these lunatics that do what it is they do. If someone is willing to die doing it or spend the rest of their life in prison, they're going to do these things. If they're willing to sacrifice either their life or freedom for life, you can't stop someone that's got nothing to lose. They'll just find another way to do it. Last time I checked, schools are gun-free zones and drug-free zones. Yet drugs are at the schools and the shootings happen. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Kool-Aid from Boynton.
Kool-Aid. All right. Here we go.
That's right. Yeah, you're taking a Nick Christmas wrong, because you should have a parent at least show you how to use a gun, okay? And his mother tried to help the kid. The kid was just broken, okay? There's something wrong with the kid, and he's just broken, all right? I think the parents should teach the kids how to use guns rather than have them learning out on the street.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I've had a gun since I was 12 years old. I was taught how to use guns by my grandfather and father, and I agree with you. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's all I got to say, man.
All right. Take care. All right. Did he think I was a liberal? Ugh. Because he had a little tone to him. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Here we go. Kool-Aid followed by this. Yes, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Andrea.
Hey, Andrea.
I heard your last caller, and it just stuck out to me that maybe teenage boys with behavioral problems don't need their mother, they need their father.
Well, David Hogg said on his tweet that the problem is patriarchy, which means the problem is that there's a man, the father runs a home. He says that's the problem. But my recollection is that Nicholas Cruz didn't have that situation, either did the Sandy Hook shooter, is my recollection.
I think the guy from Uvalde had
No, I think you're right. The Uvalde shooter didn't have that issue either. Yeah, the problem is there's not enough patriarchy, it seems.
I agree with you 100%, because what we're actually living in right now is a matriarchy, where women have assumed positions of power and berated, dehumanized, and basically bastardized men in society.
It's called the, I got to say it slow because it's a hard word to say, but it's the wimpification of the American man. They've wimpicized the men. I mean, there's other words that are easier to say, but I can't say them on the radio.
Well,
Exactly.
But it needs to stop. But I will tell you, the only interesting thing about what you said about gun confiscation, and if everybody gave up their guns, and there was gun confiscation, there would be no need for the ATF. They would be out.
No, they'd be out looking. Well, all right. Hey, listen, Andre, I got to run for the top, but good points. Thanks for the call. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Our number, 1-888-GO-CANE1. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Back after this.
WWN.
Okay. Oh, remember, make sure to tell him we're next week. Just to remind him, yeah.
Saying that yet, and I think what
Presidents and vice presidents can declassify.
Oh, my goodness. Whoopi Goldberg's lost her mind. Oh, man. Hey, guys, make sure that you like the video, please. Liking the video helps a lot.
Filters, tires, seat covers, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. That's Traffic on Chris Barr.
Traffic is service for Palm Beach Kennel Club. This weekend's Ponies and Poker at PBKC. Friday night, come out for the $10 poker party, perfect for new players to experience tournament play. And it's free for
Whoopi must have lost some weight because she's not wearing curtains anymore. She's wearing like pants and a sweater. They're still baggy and they're all black because it makes you look thinner on TV, but she's not wearing curtains anymore. I'm having a hard time getting the mic to stay in position where I want it today. Yes. Doesn't look blurry to me. You might have a bad connection. I'll double check on another device. Bruce, wow. Thanks for doing that. No, the video's not blurry. Thanks so much, Bruce. That's awesome. Okay. That's right. I am starving. Starving. I can smell pizza. Steve Kane Show. Hold on. Steve Kane Show, hold on.
Middleman Eye, 2 locations in Juniper Gardens and West Palm Beach. Call 561-500-EYES. Online at middlemaneye.com. Call or text the Middleman Eye Center today at 561-500-2020 to make an appointment in West Palm Beach or Jupiter. The outdoors and the open road. No miss RPL. Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Hosted by Giant Recreation World second generation owner and CEO Larry McNamara and his co-host Wayne Adams. RPL. Saturday mornings 10 a.m. right here on the True Owners.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Ian Craig.
Yes, yes. All right. Third hour has begun. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. It is Tuesday morning. Steve joining us. Hey, Steve. Not good. I am starving. I did the Anne Marie's commercial earlier in the program, and I can smell pizza right now. I'm smelling Sicilian. Yeah, do you smell pepperoni too? Well, a lot's going on, and I can't eat till after 9 o'clock when we get off the air.
There's been a change of pace here because I have tuned in first thing every morning lately. I sit down and we have the report on the document report, and I didn't hear any today. I think what they decided to do is flood the market with so many reports that it's no big thing anymore.
No, Steve, you're not going to have a new update every single day, although there are a couple
weeks. It's been every day.
Yeah, there was an update yesterday that it is confirmed that some of the documents that I was saving some of this till you joined us at 8, by the way, Steve. So, okay, so, if you answered your phone when I called you when I was on my way to the radio station, you would have known that, but you didn't answer, so. That's okay. That's okay. No. There's a couple updates. We have a confirmation that some of these documents go back to his days in the Senate, which means that's official now. So he's made an entire career in Washington, taking classified documents and I would assume sell access to them. But there's a few things about to happen with it. And I tuned into the 5 yesterday and was disgusted at what I heard. And it wasn't even challenged. Pissed me off. In fact, it disgusted me so much. I mean, I turned off. That was it. I was done. And did you catch the 5 yesterday?
A little bit, bits and pieces.
Yeah. Dana Perino, who's a real piece of work, she's with the Bush family. You can't trust Dana Perino. And she's a nasty person. She did, I'll tell you what she did yesterday that ticked me off. But just to tell you that, people do certain things that show what kind of person they are. And she's a person of low moral character. And I don't mean that she's a person of low moral character and only because she's on Fox News Channel because she's supported by war criminals and war profiteers, Bush and Cheney. Who's that liberal nut that's on the 5? Jessica Tarloff. Yeah, I don't like Jessica Tarloff. And Jessica...
She's got a voice that shatters glass.
Yeah. Well, Jessica Tarloff is probably CIA because you know where she went to college? She went to the London School of Economics. That sounds like a CIA training center to me. What American goes to the London School of Economics? We don't have economics schools at Harvard, Yale, Princeton. We certainly have that one that Trump went to. But anyway, Jessica Tarloff, this was, a year or two ago. And I'm watching the 5, and they do that show live, right? And Dana Perino says, "Oh, Jessica's pregnant." And this was on the air. And Jessica said, "I haven't told my family yet. I asked you not to tell anyone." And she just did it to be a nasty witch. And those of you that are new to Florida, I know a lot of people have come to Florida from other parts around the country. In Florida, we have a very unique dialect. It's only with one word, witch. Is spelled with a B, but the B sound has the W sound in Florida. And I thought, oh, what a low-life person. I thought that was just goes to what kind of, she wanted to spoil her announcement to her whole family, including her husband and her parents and everything else. But yesterday, Dana Perino, who I don't like at all for quite some time, they were talking about the document scandal. And, of course, we have this woman with the Chinese name that we were talking about on Friday, Kathy Chung, right? Kathy Chung. And if you remember, Kathy Chung, the name came up on the 5 yesterday. Did you catch this part?
No.
Oh. They are lowlives, and the 5 is like #1 in cable. They got like this high rating. Don't trust them, okay? The show's a lie, okay? I'm sorry. I like Judge Jeanine, but this disgusted me. Okay, so just to do a recap from Friday's show, Kathy Chung was a senior person at Biden's vice presidential office at the Senate when he was vice president. The vice presidents have an office at the Senate. She ran the office there. Came out on Friday, we did the whole show on it, that she took thousands of classified documents, highly classified, with intelligence gathering materials on them, gave them to Hunter, and he walked out with them, Hunter Biden. And a lot of these documents that we're hearing about, I'm guessing, came from Kathy Chung. And Kathy Chung, I've still not been able to find a photograph of her. She was obviously involved in a mass spy operation when Biden was vice president. And the reason I think she was working at his office at the Senate and not the White House office is security is not as tight in that office as it is at the White House. So it was easy to do this operation. And she currently is a senior advisor to the Defense Secretary, Lloyd Austin, that brain surgeon that, at the Pentagon. And I've not seen a photograph of her yet, or you can't find anything about her background. And the name is a Chinese name. Now, I'm not saying she's Chinese, but I don't know. Is she an immigrant, or her parents or grandparents immigrants? So, we did the whole show on Friday about that. That's a huge thing. And now we're finding out where these documents came from through this Kathy Chung. Well, they're on the 5 yesterday. They're talking about the documents like it's some big joke. They had Trump and now they got Biden. Hypocrites. It's so surface and stupid. They sound like they're at a bar in Manhattan, All Jesse Waters cares about is his hair. And, I'm sitting there listening to this like it's a joke. And then Dana Perino comes in and says, I just don't like when people blame their staff, when they hang their staff out there and they don't defend their staff and they don't take responsibility for what they did and let people blame staff. This is Dana Perino. She's like, look at Kathy Chung. Kathy Chung just worked at his Senate office and she's taken all this heat for this. I don't appreciate it. He should take responsibility and defend her. And nobody said, well, wait a minute, Chung, that sounds Chinese. And, they just, yeah, you're right, Dana, you're right. Oh, yeah. I was disgusted by that segment on the 5 yesterday. It made me physically ill. My goodness. I don't think Dana Perino's smart enough to realize what she's saying. I just think she's so embedded in the Washington, D.C. establishment that she doesn't see what's going on here. And she hates Trump, and which means she likes Biden because her guy, Bush, voted for Biden. Voted for Hillary, then he voted for Biden. So no, I was very disgusted by the 5 yesterday and Dana Perino and how they just thought it was a big old joke, all these documents. And they defended the Kathy Chung. They didn't even ask questions about her. They acted like they knew all about it. There was nothing to see here, and she's taking all this heat she doesn't deserve. You kidding me? Maybe we should see a picture of her, know her background. Is she from China? Are her parents from China? Is she really Chinese? I don't know. Is she a CCP age? I don't know. But Dana Perino, she's very upset that people are even mentioning the name. So, if anyone saw that, yes, I'd like to hear from you.
I'm trying to work myself into a head where I really care about the issue, but it doesn't.
What issue? What, the spy? We got a Chinese spy?
And I don't know. We don't know she's a spy.
She took the documents. She took the classified documents, right? Gave them to Hunter, and he walked out of the building with them. So that's you don't have to be a foreigner to be doing spy work. That's stealing of classified documents.
When the Hunter was doing it, it was on behalf of the old man anyway. So what's?
Well, I don't know. Maybe we don't know that. She may have been doing it for the CCP. We need to find. These are questions. We don't just say, "Oh, how dare they blame Kathy Chung?" Well, But Steve, this guy Biden was making all kinds of money from China. Okay, from China, and he's got a woman with it. And he's got a woman with a Chinese name stealing the documents and smuggling them out of his office through his son who's doing business with China. I don't think that's something to just blow off like Perino did.
If that in fact proves to be the reality, that's what it would take to. I don't know. I mean, would they take an act?
Not on the 5. On the 5, it's outrageous that people that work for Biden take any heat. It's all Biden. Come on. Dana Perino, shame on you. What a lowlife. She's a terrible person. Terrible person, Dana Perino. But, hey. We can if you want. I mean, I'd like to hear some thoughts on this. And, if anyone else heard this segment on the 5 yesterday, I'd like to hear your thoughts. I don't think I'm being too hard on them. I think that was just disgusting.
Controlled portion of what you were saying over the last hour.
Yeah.
I'm being an avid fan of the New York Post, and I've followed the Post my whole adult life. I mean, I've always been a reader of the Post. It's a great way to keep tabs on what's going on in New York, I'll tell you that. And there has been a major change that has evolved over the past year, I'll call it a year, over about that period of time. In New York, gun crime seems to have dropped off somewhat in New York, and it has been replaced, you guessed it, by knife crime. The big thing now in New York, there'll be 2 or 3 articles a day about people getting knifed in the subway. And then another, but a similar amount that get something thrown at them in their head area and, get their head split open and be...
Well, Steve, the knife stabbings are up, and a lot of people may be shocked to learn this, but in New York City, without any background check or identification required, you can walk into any store and buy a knife and walk out. They don't even do a background check. It's amazing. We need some common sense knife control. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They even give them to kids, plastic versions in the school lunches. Can you believe they're giving these to kids? They're plastic, but one use, but yeah. All right, listen, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll take a quick break and be back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig on Oldies 95.9 and 106.9.
All right, and it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Great.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. It's great to see you, Steve.
Yeah, it was good to see you yesterday. What a beautiful new office you have up there. I love that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're really excited about it. It's a beautiful office, and we're very pleased, and thank you very much for the compliment. So today I wanted to talk about, one of the biggest concerns that people have, and that's the cost of long-term care. As we age and we get into our retirement years, something that comes up is, well, gee, what happens if something happens to me or my spouse and we get to a point where we need care, where we need somebody to help us with walking or bathing ourselves or toileting or dressing or any of those kinds of activities of daily living. Not only, what are we going to do, who are we going to call, but how are we going to pay for it? Because those services are extremely expensive, whether those services are provided to us in our home or in a facility like a nursing home or assisted living. All of those options can be very expensive and can cause your finances that you've saved for and you've worked for your whole life to be gone very quickly. And that's why we do the elder law and the Medicaid planning, is to help those people who don't have either they have no long-term care or they don't have enough long-term care to cover the cost of all of this care that could go on for many, many years. So that's why it's so important to make sure that you have a backup plan so you don't run out of money before you run out of life. And that's why we strongly suggest that people have everything reviewed to see if they can pre-plan and set things up so they could qualify in the future. And as you know, if you've listened and you've heard me and Steve and Brian all talk about the fact that it's so important not to
jump to the conclusion that you have too much money or too much in income and you can't qualify, because people will give you the wrong information. You'll get the wrong information on the internet. We highly suggest that you talk to someone such as us who can help you, give you the right information, and help you set things up in a way so that you're protected.
Yeah, in fact, at the Siegel Law Group, Attorney Barry Siegel has an entire team of specialists at his office that just deal with the Medicaid planning. And, you know, you moved into that new office. You know, there was, I saw on social media, people were confused. There was a guy wearing a fancy suit in a U-Haul the other day, and I guess that was you, Barry, moving into the new office. You know, you wear the suit as you're moving in. But give the Siegel Law Group a call. When you call, make sure you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the radio, because it's a free consultation with the Siegel Law Group when you do that. And by the way, the Siegel Law Group can help you no matter where you are in the state of Florida. Online at SiegelLawGroup.com, SiegelLawGroup.com, or give them a call toll-free, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk later in the week. All right, back after this.
77, it's the Steve Kane Show with...
All righty, we are back. There's one opening on the board where Attorney Barry Siegel was speaking with us at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You know, and then I will say one last thing about this thing on the 5 yesterday, and then we'll go to the phones. But I'd like to hear some thoughts from you about what I described. What we heard, you know, I was talking earlier in the show, DirecTV's canceling Newsmax. Newsmax is all over this document story. And one of the reasons they're getting canceled by DirecTV Newsmax is they carry the Trump rallies on television when no one else does. But also they're not CNN pretending to be conservative. And the way that this has been handled on the 5 is important, because the 5 is like the second highest rated show on Fox next to Tucker. I don't know, they may even be higher rated than Tucker. And when they're sitting around joking like it's no big deal, when we had uncovered how the documents were stolen by Biden and who may be behind it, that tells you that's a cover-up. The 5 is covering up the crimes of Joe Biden. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, Victor Wellington, how's it going?
Hey, Wellington.
Yeah, I kind of tuned out Fox, but, you know, I do kind of notice that Jesse Waters cares more about his hair than anything else, and I agree with that. And it's an image thing, and they've used that show that kind of hijacked the audience. And you know, talking on the Newsmax thing was kind of why I was really trying to fall in. But you know, the DirecTV and how they've operated and gotten rid of so many channels and been able to just kind of negate who can and can't have a voice is kind of disgusting. I'm glad it's going.
DirecTV is in big trouble, okay? Because just to do a recap, DirecTV announced that they're going to drop Newsmax. Newsmax is number 4 in cable news. They're right behind MSNBC. That means they're beating Fox Business and CNBC. In fact, Fox Business just did a lineup change because they're getting beat by Newsmax. The MAGA Republicans control the House now. Contrary to what they tell you, we won the election. We won the House, right? The MAGA Republicans are big Newsmax people. They're going to have a special hearing just on DirecTV dropping of Newsmax. They're going to have the executives come in with the ratings and how much they pay each channel on DirecTV, not just the news ones, all of them. And they're going to have some explaining to do. They're going to be under oath. And DirecTV destroyed One American News. Now they're trying to do it to Newsmax.
Yep. And it went on deaf ears when they did it to One American News because nobody really understood it and they didn't cover it very much.
Well, they don't want, because OAN carried the Trump rallies too. DirecTV wants Newsmax gone before the rallies start, because they carry them on TV. And what happens on the weekends? Newsmax beats Fox every time there's a Trump rally. And every time. Newsmax, and I think Rupert Murdoch went to DirecTV and lobbied this to happen. And that'll come out in a congressional hearing.
Surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. And it's just like I've always been saying, as long as there's these people that act like there's so much there's no collusion, basically, with the news.
Of course there are.
That Fox is completely out for blood. They don't.
I mean, look at this. What do you think about Dana Perino excusing the woman with the Chinese name that stole the secrets for Biden? I mean, come on.
Excusing Hunter Biden for a whole year and a half on Fox News.
Correct.
They don't.
Disgusting.
If it wasn't for Tucker, they wouldn't even talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Barely cover anything like that. They talk about social media garbage that nobody wants to hear about.
And I'm a big fan of Gutfeld, but stop the reading. If you're overworked with the nighttime show, give up the. He's always reading off the paper. I don't read anything except the phone numbers for our sponsors during the commercial, so I don't make it. But everything he says is read. It's written. It's bizarre. Anyway, thanks for the call. If you're on hold, stand by. We got to take our break for the bottom of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Steve is here, of course. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. I'm going to stand by Newsmax, staying on DirecTV. We need them. The Trump rallies will not be on television without Newsmax. 1-888-GO-KANE 1. It's a toll-free call. We'll be back after this.
Making morning radio great again.
I'm obviously not worried about my hair, so I got a hat head. Unlike Jesse Waters. Oh, boy. Did any of you guys catch what I was talking about on the 5?
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Traffic is service of Palm Beach Kennel Club. This week it's ponies and poker at PBKC. Friday night, come out for the $10 poker party, perfect for new players to experience tournament play. And it's free for new signups. Saturday, watch, wager, and win on Gulfstream Park's Pegasus World Cup in the Paddock Restaurant with over 130 new TVs and big screen TVs. Go to pbkennelclub.com for more information.
Brian Craig here with a question for seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have been?
Well, she totally excused this Kathy Chung lady. Like it's no big deal. Like she was defending her. Like how dare they blame her? What are you talking about? You can't find a picture of her. No background. That story's been out for what, 6 days, 5 days? I like Judge Janine, absolutely. Well, that's the master control room. I'm in the broadcast studio. He's in the control room. Well, I've got, I don't like anyone with the Bush organization, you know what I mean? But I consider that like a cover-up. Like they got a huge news story and they cover it up. Dana Perino's not nice. Who's that guy she does the show with during the day? She's rude with him too. I just got a text message from one person removed from the greatest president ever. I don't want to say who, but someone that is, I'll tell Steve on the air, someone that is within earshot of the president right now sent me a text message. I'm excited. I'm all tingly. That's very exciting. I'm not going to say who. It's not Mike Lindell. It is someone that is with earshot of the president as we speak. I can't. I'm excited and nervous at the same time. I'm not going to say who. Not going to say who, but it's pretty exciting. It's you know who it is. If I said the name, you would know. I'm not going to say who it is or isn't. It was not Mike Lindell. I'm not going to say who it is or isn't. That's amazing. Oh my goodness. Well, you know what that means? You know what that means? No. Do you know what that means? It means the boss is listening. That's what it means. Well, our radio stations cover Mar-a-Lago. Oh my goodness. That's yes. Oh man. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. Now, you know, this morning, I've not been with the show all 46 years, but most of them. This morning, as I was about to leave my house, I got a notification on my phone. I was just about to walk out the front door, and there was movement out in my front yard. It was from the doorbell camera that you guys can get free from Sloman's when you call and tell them you heard about them on the radio. They'll tell you how. I'm like, what is going on? I take out my iPhone. It was an Amazon delivery guy. Okay, but still, I'm glad I got that note, and I could see him perfectly because the doorbell camera comes with night vision, so you can see perfectly, and it was nice. I'll tell you that, to know if I would have opened up the door, he would have been there. It would have scared the daylights out of me, right? But I knew he was there, and I knew who it was because I've got the doorbell camera. And you guys should get a doorbell camera. It's really a cool and convenient thing to have because you never have to get up and answer the door. You can see who was at your door any time of the day or night, and everything's recorded, and it's a beautiful thing to have. You know, it's part of the security here at the radio station. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not, but we have a Sloman's doorbell camera on the entrance to the office here at the radio station. And of course it's added security because you can see who was there. It's hooked up to the security system and everything. But mostly what I use it for is knowing who's at the door. I don't have to get tripped up with solicitors. If there's a delivery, I know who's there, and maybe it's the groceries, and I got to go bring them in. Call Sloman's, tell them you heard about them on the radio, and they're going to tell you how you can get a free doorbell camera. And it also makes a great gift if your kids have moved out, or you got a daughter living on her own like I do. Oh boy, get them the doorbell camera too. Okay, here's the number: 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. Okay, the Coven of the View spoke out on the documents yesterday. And The View, I don't watch, a lot of people think I watch The View. I do not watch The View, okay? When they say something stupid, I find it on social media and I watch the clip that I play to you. I do not watch The View, okay? I don't want people to think I'm watching that nasty show with these terrible people. But of course, what are they doing? They're defending Joe Biden, spending his entire life stealing classified documents and leaving them next to the Corvette, you know? And hold on, let me pull this up. This is the leader of the Coven, Whoopi Goldberg is first, but you got the whole panel there. Here she is.
Presidents and vice presidents can declassify these, not with their brains.
No, that's wrong.
No. Vice presidents can't declassify anything. They don't have the authority to do that.
And vice presidents can declassify these, not with their brains. You have to go, there is something that you go through.
Well, first of all, she doesn't even know what she's talking about. That's not true. And
Well, that's a question. Maybe she does know the difference and is just lying.
this is, Steve, this is Whoopi Goldberg, okay? She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Beneath lying?
No, she's beneath intelligence and knowledge, okay? She doesn't know what she's talking about.
I agree.
But she is good at getting a script from the propagandists with the talking points. You can't declassify by thinking it because that's what Trump said he did. Let me tell you this, okay? The President of the United States can go out in the press briefing today and tell us all the secrets at Area 51, and it's declassified. It's a presidential power. Vice presidents have no power. The only power they have is to vote in a tie of the Senate. That's it. They got no other power, okay? But let's see what else, though. I want to hear if the other members of the Coven chimed in, okay, to correct her.
And vice presidents can declassify these, not with their brains. You have to go, there is something that you go through before it's declassified. But this order was expanded right after that George Bush put it into place, because George Bush made it so presidents could declassify. Obama stretched it to make it vice presidents. So
that's the first I've heard of that. He stretched it. Now all of a sudden he stretched it. How do you stretch it? You know, see, this is what they're trying to do now. Biden has all these classified documents all over his house where his son brings over Russian hookers, Russian pimps, and his drug dealers. They sit around, but with the 5 yesterday, Steve, okay? Another thing they said on the 5. I can't remember who said this, but one of them said, when you're sitting around getting high, who wants to read classified documents? Sounds kind of boring, doesn't it? I think that might have been Perino. That's when the classified documents sound most interesting, probably, is when you're stoned with the Russian pimp who's, and the Russian hookers that of course, that's the best. That's when the documents, look, what are we going to do? We're all high. You know what? I got all those classified docs next to Dad's vet. Let's go get them. I mean, give me a break. That's when he's most likely to be reading them. But, what they're trying to do is declare that Biden's classified documents, they're trying to get Obama to come out and say that they're declassified. And he can't do it.
Pissed by now.
He's 2 presidents ago. He can't declassify things in the past. He doesn't have authority. And even Biden can classify the document. He can declassify the documents that they found, right? But he can't declassify them 8 or 12 years ago, right? It's like, for example, when Obama was getting ready to leave the White House, there were some liberals who wanted him to pardon all the illegals, right? And then some wise legal people on television said, well, yeah, but the second after he pardons them, they're criminals again because they're still here illegally. They don't have documents. It doesn't work that way. You can't pardon them forever and make them legal status. They're trying to get Obama to lie and say that he declassified these documents years ago, is what they're trying to do. They're trying to get Obama to lie to the American people and take part in a spy op with Biden. You can't do that.
I think Obama's feeling is today about Joe Biden.
Well, I told you, Obama's behind the whole thing. We were talking about this last week. His Biden's lawyer is the former White House counsel. She's Obama, right? She's an Obama person. Merrick Garland's Obama. He's happy with it. He's happy with it. He wants...
Curious.
No, he wants Biden gone. No, he wants Biden gone.
You and I disagree on that.
What's he mad at?
I'm not disagreeing that he wants Biden gone. I'm just saying I think he's personally pissed at Joe Biden.
Over the documents?
Screwing up his whole legacy.
No. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're very wrong. He's upset at Joe Biden because they've lost control of him, and they're using the documents to get him to resign to make Kamala the president. That's what they're doing. Obama's behind. The reason the document thing was exposed is because Obama lost control of Joe. No, Steve, did a whole show on this last week. This entire classified document scandal has come public because Obama and Obama's people have made it public. Okay? It didn't just come out. There's no investigative reporter in America. So
that it doesn't mean that, in my opinion, the primary thing on Obama's mind is Obama's legacy. Do you disagree with that?
No, I do. I think what...
Is about his legacy?
No, I think Obama cares about two things, right? I think he's kind of like a playboy type, I saw his birthday party, That's his first thing. He's living the life of Bill Clinton right now. And the other thing is his little group keeping control of the government. And Biden did something where the Obamas lost control of him, so they're trying to bring him down with this classified document scandal. That's what's going on here. Okay? Obama's behind the entire document scandal going public, including the special counsel. Obama got Garland to appoint the special counsel. No, I don't know. I don't know why Obama...
My mind. We disagree on this. Let's just move on.
All right, if you got somewhere else to go, I'm open to it. But I'll tell you, we're going to... Well, I can't run stories by you until you find one that's interesting, and then we run with that, Steve. Don't tell... You can't tell me you don't want to talk about what I'm talking about and not have a place to go. But you know what? It's time for the Gold Report, so we'll figure out where to go during the break. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take our break and be right back.
On The Steve Kane Show.
All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how the metals look today?
Oh, the metals are looking good. Gold especially. As I told everybody yesterday, we had a short pullback on gold, at one point being down to about $1,911 yesterday. But as I've said before, these pullbacks do not last long, so you've got to lock in the price and get in and take advantage of these kind of dips, because they turn right around after being down to about a $1,911 turn right around, went up to a high of $1,936 and still closed up $4.30 on the day at $1,930.60 the ounce. Silver was down 47 cents to $23.43. Platinum closed up $6 at $1,048. While palladium was down $10 at $1,640. Similar situation now. We're seeing higher lows and higher highs. And this morning overnight we saw gold get down to about $1,930 and as high as $1,943. That's about a 7-month high on gold now.
Wow.
Right now, gold up $3.40 at $1,934 the ounce. Silver up 2 cents at $23.45. Platinum down $5 at $1,043, and palladium down $5 at $1,635. So, like I said before, you've got to take advantage of these very short-lived dips because we are moving higher.
Yeah, and silver's looking really good. What are some of the better buys you have when it comes to silver today?
Silver, we have great buys in 90% silver coin. We also have great buys in 1 ounce silver rounds. All of the silver bars, 100 ounce bars, are especially a great buy right now. We have a great sale on silver eagles. They were as high as 17. Some dealers charging as much as $20 over spot less than a few months ago, and we're selling them now at about $7 over spot.
Oh my goodness. I don't know how long it's been since silver eagles have been that low, and you said something that I never thought I'd hear you say. There's great deals on the 90% silver coins?
Yes, they were trading for $8 to $10 over spot, and we've got deals now as low as $3 over spot for silver coin.
Yeah, and I just tell people about this real quick, because a lot of people are invested in silver and don't realize it. Coins minted, U.S. coins minted before, is it 64?
Earlier.
Yeah, coins minted before 1964 and prior are 90% silver. And they've been in high demand. They still are in high demand, but now they're at some of the low. You can get a lot more of them for less money than you have been able to in a long time. And I know a lot of people, I like the 90% silver because I think they're kind of like a cool collectible thing to have. And I know a lot of you are into them. Give William Youngerman a call. That's something I never thought I'd hear you say on the 90% silver. He opens up at 10 a.m. His number, 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com, or stop right in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto. And you out-of-towners, you can do business with William over the phone just as easy. And I know there's a lot of people, William Youngerman, that love those silver eagles, and now's the time to get in on them. All right, we'll touch base tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day. Thank you.
All right, back after this.
Justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
Indeed it is. All right, one opening where William Youngerman was at. Oh, nope, every line is lit now. Oh. So there was no opening on the board.
Real quick, for those of you who are going on our wonderful cruise.
Yes, that's correct. Yep.
We have clarified the championship football games, both NFL and AFL, are going to be held on Sunday, and we will be watching them together, those of you who are football fans and Steve Kane fans. And Laura and I are going to be watching, and anybody out there wants to watch with us, reserve your Sunday afternoon.
Okay, that's for those of you that are cruising with us. And by the way, it's going to be a great cruise. We've got a great group. And on Sunday, I, along with Steve's wife, Lori, and our travel agent, Ian, and some listeners and friends, we took a tour of the sister ship of the one we're cruising on next week so that we could scout out all the locations where we're having our events. The Celebrity Apex is the most modern cruise ship you've ever been on. It is amazing, and we're going to have a great MAGA cruise. In fact, we're going to have a MAGA-rita party one afternoon as well. Don't miss the MAGA-rita party. All right, every line on the board is lit. I don't know who's on hold. All the calls are screenless. I don't know who called first, last, or 28th, but let's just randomly take these calls. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air.
Yeah, I live in Hollywood. My name is Terry. I'm one of the biggest fans with Donald Trump. I love him to death. But you are wrong about the Fox channel. I listen to Fox channel down from 9 o'clock till 11, actually after 12 o'clock, I shut off the TV. They all talk about Donald Trump, how much they love Trump, how much they hate Biden, and all the lies Biden has said, they bring it up. And they compare to Donald Trump, how good he is.
Well, they will not know because Rupert Murdoch announced that he will not carry the Trump rallies, and they're going to start up this summer. And they haven't carried a Trump rally in years. And yesterday, Dana Perino on the 5 was defending the woman who stole the secrets for Biden, Kathy Chung.
I watched that, but Dana Perino, actually, she loves Donald Trump. She always defends him. I don't know why you don't like the Fox channel. To me, every morning from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock when I go to sleep, I watch Fox channel, and they all love Donald Trump.
Okay. All right. Okay. I disagree, but that's okay. All right. Take care. Thanks for the call. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, hey, Richie.
Good morning. Good morning, Steve.
Hey, Rich. How are you doing?
How are you doing? I hope you have a great cruise, buddy. Hey, listen, I think Brian is wrong here. I think it all comes down to the laptop. I don't think Obama is anything. It comes down to that laptop. I believe that he was subpoenaed. He was subpoenaed for those documents. They got it through that laptop. He sent his high-priced lawyers to go get the documents. As for this Chong woman, listen, if I didn't see the 5, but if she's saying don't blame the staff, that means blame Biden, and that's what she's trying to put the blame on Biden. Do you think she's trying to?
Well, there's people. It's a team. Okay, it's like if you catch bank robbers, you arrest the whole team, and this thing about Biden's lawyer, okay? She was White House counsel. She resigned from that position, immediately became his private attorney, and went and sought out these documents. She was married to her husband by Obama. Obama officiated the wedding. So, and Garland's Obama. The Obama people are all, and she's the one who turned him in. The Obama lawyer that's working for Biden is the one who turned Biden in, found the documents and turned him in. Obama wants Kamala to be president.
What do you think that they wanted? All of a sudden, after all these years, they went after these documents? That's all.
He did something where they've lost control of him. He did. I don't know what that is, but he did something.
He was found out. He did something. He took all the money from Ukraine and
that could probably be it. He didn't share it enough. That could be some of it. I'm serious.
I know it is. The other thing I wanted to say was this whole thing. To me, it's national security. But the biggest national security is this border we got over here. That every day thousands of people are walking in. Just the other day in New York City, they caught 4 of them breaking into Macy's. I think it was Macy's. Took $1,200 or $12,000 worth of stuff. 4 of them that just got to the country.
Yeah, and the Mayor Adams said there's no room in New York. Well, with all the exodus to Florida, they got nothing but room in New York.
They're going to be all over the country.
Yes.
They're going to be all over. They're going to be breaking the law everywhere we go. We've lost total control of who's here. We don't know. And this is more national security than anything. And the press has covered it up.
That's true. That's true. All right, Richie, take care. Take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Helen from King.
Oh, hey, Helen.
Hi, guys. Well, that woman, the mother that taught her son to shoot the gun and stuff.
Yep.
There's no sin in that. And God.
Well, no. If your child is mentally ill and a mental patient, you don't give them access to guns, and she did.
Well, this is God's eternal judgment between the relationship between parents and their children. Ezekiel 18:20. The soul that sinneth, it shall die. The son shall not bear the iniquity of the father or the parent, and neither shall the parent bear the iniquity of the son. The righteousness of the righteous shall be upon him, and the wickedness of the wicked shall be upon him. It's her fault that her son is a sinner.
If you know your child is mentally ill, you do not give them guns, and that mother gave them guns. All right, Helen, you don't want to hear it, but that's crazy. She lost her life for doing it. Now, I want to tell you guys, if you're suffering from pain, that just means you haven't called Dr. Appleton. I talk a lot about how Dr. Appleton has helped me, and you hear Rabbi David talk about how he helped him and his mother, and we've got another great listener who had a same kind of experience. You do not have to live with pain. When I was having pain in my knee and my arthritis, I just thought, well, I'm getting older, that's life. It is not. You do not have to live with pain. Call Dr. Appleton. He's open Monday through Saturday. Appointments are not necessary, and walk-ins are welcome. because Dr. Appleton knows when you're in pain, you need relief, and you need it now. His laser wave pain treatment works on all kinds of pain: neck injuries, back injuries, repetitive motion injuries, rotary tears, herniated disc, fibromyalgia, arthritis like it helped with me. The list goes on and on. I got a long list of things, and I can't even pronounce half of them. But if you're in pain, he can help. Give him a call. Dr. Appleton's number is 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. All right. Well, listen, there's going to be more, because what we haven't gotten to yet with Biden is I've noticed they've only searched one house. This guy has multiple houses. I don't know why they've only searched the one. This Wilmington house isn't the beach house. How many houses does he have? And they've only searched one. So they're likely to find more, or maybe, but the next phase of this, even if they don't find anything else, is as I predicted, there are visitor logs to the house in Delaware through the Secret Service. And members of the MAGA House, led by Donald Trump's hand-chosen Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, are asking the Secret Service for their information, because they have to do background checks on anyone that goes to that residence. And we're going to start to get visitor logs of who went there. And that's when things are going to get interesting, because there's going to be a lot of names. Like, I can't pronounce some of these medical terms. There's going to be a lot of names that you can't pronounce, and then there's going to be some names you can, like Kathy Chung, okay? And that's when the hearings are going to start, is when we get to that point. And Biden is in more trouble than anyone realizes. Don't let one day without a document not being found let you think it's over. This is not even the beginning of the beginning yet. We are in the preliminary phases of the largest intelligence failure and scandal in American history. This is bigger than the Rosenbergs, because it's been going on since this guy's been in the Senate, and he has access to everything. You know what we're going to find, Steve, when they get into this, is the documents that he took got more and more sensitive and secretive as he went up through the ranks and had higher security. It's over for Biden and a lot of people around him. So this scandal, this is going to, when we find, I don't even know if we want to know how bad it is, because it's going to be frightening, the things we find out with this. But we will find out. And one last thing I want to mention that I mentioned at the top of the show at 6, there was a story yesterday that Trump is coming back in June to Twitter, that he has a non-compete with Truth Social about posting on social media that expires in June, and he's not going to renew it. So that means he's going to be coming back to Twitter, where currently he has 87.7 million followers. I think he'll have 100 million a day after he's back on Twitter tweeting. And that's where he's going to stream his rallies, and that's where he's going to take control of the news narrative again when he goes back on Twitter this summer. All right, guys, well, that's it for us today, but we'll be back tomorrow bright and early. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane, of course, here. If you've missed a portion of the show, each day, about an hour after we sign off, the entire show is loaded in podcast form on our radio station website. Oldies, what is it? It's True Oldies FLA, correct? That's right, True. I want to make sure I get it right. TrueOldiesFLA.com. TrueOldiesFLA.com. And they're archived up there forever. So maybe you called in and you want to show off your call to your friends, you can find it there. TrueOldiesFLA.com. And never miss a portion of the show. They're all there. All right, everyone. Have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow. And I didn't even get to all my show prep today. So we got even more to touch on tomorrow. I'll have to talk fast like Ben Shapiro to get through everything, I guess. God bless America. And, of course, God bless Donald Trump.
WWNN AM Pompano Beach. WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic.
All right, guys. Take care. I'll talk to you.